Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. My name is Robert Antwin, host of the Black CEO's premier event, known as Black to www.blackceotshirts.com. I can't wait to hear about all of the amazing, iconic revenue insight that you're going to hear on today. I feel like just quoting my man Jay-Z when he talks about what's better than one billionaire. Two. Stay tuned in. Make sure that you're connected all day. Share this broadcast out and let a friend know that Black CEO is having a black and iconic experience today.
Hey, what's going on? I am excited about Black and Iconic for 2021. Why? Because I believe this is a plandemic and not a pandemic. So I'm your girl, Lucinda Cross, Chief Activator, known as the Comeback Coach. Shout out to Verizon, right, for this. And this has a lot to do with my message today. I'm going to go over at least 10 different principles about not only, we already know about being Black, that's magical, that's sweet, that's lovely, the essence, right? But let's talk about iconic, because I believe each and every one of us is an icon in our own right. We are the first, many of us are the first to do several of the things that we're doing in our families. I know for myself, I am the first to do several things that I have done. We are also, when we look at our brand name, I want you to take your last name, whether it's your married name, your maiden name, look at that name. Making your name great is key for 2021. It is key for your stamp and your stake this year and moving forward for being Black and iconic. So there's amazing things that I'm going to do with my last name for my namesake. When we look at every brand that has created a legacy behind it, we buy into the legacy name, yes? And so I want you to create and think about how iconic you are and how iconic your name is. If we look at the word in the Bible, everybody's name, it was the family of Abraham, so there was the names meant everything towards legacy building, the legacy foundation. And so one of the sidebars that I'm going to give you real quick, everyone for this year, and we're standing here being Black and iconic, have a family meeting, a state family meeting. Everyone needs to be on one accord. You have that tribe mentality and you have your herd mentality. And as being Black and iconic, the two things that make these two separate and why it's so important in being Black and iconic in 2021 in this plandemic and not the pandemic, right? Is that when we create and look at our family structure as a tribe, looking at it as a tribe, looking at it as, listen, we are coming together on one accord to help build not only my son, my daughter, right? And so looking at each family member, we each play a part. And it is important that I don't care if it's your 5-year-old, they have to attend the estate meeting because it is important for them to know the importance of being in the tribe and what they bring in terms of even their legacy at 5 years old to the table, because everyone plays a part. Now, when you look at the herd mentality, right? Which some of us, we all had this wake up call for 2020. I know I did for myself. And I'm looking as a herd, it's every man for themselves, not only in my business, right? And how I'm operating with my friends, my connections, my family, but my inner circle family. Are we all looking for our own agendas? Is my daughter trying to outdo my son? Is my son trying to get the little one in trouble, right? Is everyone out for their own success? Does everyone have their own idea and own visions of success? And none of it is in alignment, key word for 2021, in alignment with the estate that we are building and creating for our families, herd mentality. Because what happens is when one falls, when something goes down, only one in that herd they're going to worry about themselves. In the tribe mentality, we're all looking out for each other. Our backs are towards each other, and we are looking around, we're surveying the land, we're seeing what we need to invest in. We're seeing, okay, mom is working on the business. Let's support her in her business. If that means that I have to take runs and go to the post office, or I have to go to the bank, right? And so looking at how are we grooming our children? How are we grooming the tribe even within our own household before we even think about creating a tribe outside? And so one of the key things that I had to create even in my own family was creating the tribe within my inside, my circle, my legacy. What does my estate look like? What does the Cross legacy look like? What does using their land, what does that look like for them? And coming to the table, what are your ideas? What are your aspirations? What are your dreams, desires, goals, right? And then seeing how I can each, and we can all support each other in cultivating those dreams, goals, and desires. That's just a bonus. So I want you to operate and have this family meeting. Listen, guys, we're shooting for the 2 million mark, the 2.5 million mark this year. This is how we all play a part in this. This is why it's all important. Here's the skill sets that I see in you, right? It's a different conversation at the table than saying, okay, why didn't you do your homework today? Or, hey, you didn't pick up your, those things are still important, but I want us to level up the type of conversation we're having in our estate. We're talking Black and iconic, and we want them to know not only do they matter, but their name and their namesake and what we're creating under this roof is going to make an impact for the rest of our family and generations to come. Amen, somebody. All right, so let's go through some of these principles. You ready? You got your pen and paper out? All right, good. Because I love to get into it, dive deep and share. And so, yes, I can go into, I have accolades with this and that. I've been seen here and there. What's more important? See, a true Black and iconic mindset type of person is saying, how can I show you how much value you bring to the table? That part. Yep. I'm here for the how much value do you bring to the table, and showing you that. Because if you're able to show another person how Black and iconic they are, and they're able to come to their table and create that estate conversation and that legacy conversation, how powerful is it that we're planting seeds for the futures to come? Right? No, listen, it's no shade, it's no competition. Not when we have our own empires to work on. We have our own empires. So listen, let's go. So the first mindset principle when it comes to Black and iconic that I want to share, that I've learned, right? That I fell and came back up again, right? What wisdom doesn't teach you, rock bottom will, is taking responsibility. In what areas, starting now, do you need to take responsibility so that you can either stop, start, or continue to do the things that work best for your family, for your faith, for your friends, for your finances, for your fitness? Are you having some fun? That's the self-care, right? People used to laugh at the self-care. Self-care, what's that? That's just a Manny and Petty. No, self-care runs deep. It runs deep into saying, yes, I'm ready to start my business. Yes, I'm ready to write my book. That's self-care, because now you're stretching and using two sides of the brain. You're stretching and using new energy. You're stretching and using new resources, and you're tapping into a whole different vibration. It's the vibration for me, y'all. Do y'all feel it? So taking responsibility in what areas out of the Fab Five that I just shared is key for you to start today. And be honest with yourself to say, you know what, Lucinda, I haven't been doing my best when it came to looking at my not financial freedom, but as my girl Tiffany the Budgetnista would say, financial wholeness. So yes, we're chasing financial freedom, but are we financial whole? Meaning the areas are covered. Your business insurance, your life insurance, your living will, your health insurance, right? Are those things covered? Financially whole? Are your investments in order? Is your credit up to par? Are you effectively using your resources? Yes, such as an accountant, a bookkeeper, your tax guy. Are you in the IRS? Like, there was a time when me in the IRS, I was like, man, you are not my Uncle Sam. I don't know who you are. I don't, and I just want to put the covers. It was a point where I didn't know what to do, because when those boys call, And they keep calling. It stresses you out. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I was like, what is going on? They are a full bully. But I needed to take responsibility. So yes, I'm at this point, I was striving to get to the $1 million mark. But my mindset wasn't taking responsibility, financial wellness, wholeness, responsibility on the things that I needed to do, which meant having a deep dive conversation with a financial advisor, having a deep dive conversation with the person who was working with me to help me remove some of the things on my the inquiries on my credit report, removing some of the old debts, and also boosting my business credit. So I needed to understand the language of wealth. There's another level and there's another language of wealth. And if we're not in the know and taking responsibility on what's working, what's not working, what do we need to stop, start, and continue, we'll miss the mark. So what areas do you need to take responsibility on? Come on, you're Black and iconic. Don't let anything stop your shine. Because as much as we try to cover it up and push it under the rug and keep it, buttoned up, oh, it's going to come out, baby. And we just don't want it to come out when we're on the red carpet grabbing our Oscar. All right. So the second mindset principle is the power of belief. Ooh. What is that about? Lucinda, what are you talking about? I love God. You love God. Yeah. So, but are we truly believing in not only what God can do, but what we're capable of doing because God is in us, with us, and for us? So there's a lot of people who, I'll speak for myself, because I like to redirect things to myself, right? And can't say a lot of people. What I know about Lucinda, there was a time where I knew how to do church. But did I truly believe in God more than what I was worshiping? The fear of what might happen, the worry, the doubt, the uncertainty. Those were idols that I didn't even know were in my life that were blocking my blessings. So the power of belief is stepping over and saying, God, help me even in my unbelief. I don't know how this thing is going to happen. I know I'm Black, iconic, dope, magical, full of melanin, powerful, put in the right place, called, chosen. May it come from the north, south, east to the west. Yes, I can recite all the scriptures, but God, do I truly believe that you have given me this vision? And although I don't see it coming the way that I thought it should come, I know that I need to trust that I can't trace you and I can't see you, but I know I need to trust you. And in trusting you is also giving myself the confidence to believe that there's more dreams, desires, aspirations, goals, and visions inside of me that need to come to fruition because I'm what? Black and iconic. Yes, and you set me here for a purpose and a reason. So no, I'm not looking for my purpose. I'm already on purpose and in purpose every day. It's not something you need to find. The power of belief comes in saying that I'm going to keep pushing forward. I'm going to keep sending those emails. I'm going to keep making those phone calls. I'm going to keep showing up. I'm going to keep sending them something in the mail because my yes is coming. It's in alignment. This is something that I've prayed for. This is something that I've fasted for. And I believe, God, that if it's not you, it's somebody else. And so sometimes God will put people in a position and remove people out of a position just so you can get what you need to get to. Someone say there's a check with my name on it. 1, 2, 3. There's a check with my name on it. 1, 2, 3. There's a check with my name on it. Last time, 1, 2, 3. There's a check with my name on it. The next belief that the next mindset principle that I'm going to share is develop productive habits. Have a routine in terms of, especially for my procrastinators and my perfectionists. Develop productive habits. What do you need to think differently about? What do you need to talk differently about? What do you need to see things differently about? Changing your perception is everything. Yes. So develop productive habits. Don't prefer to take a nap when you know you need to submit that contract, right? Don't sit there and say, I'm going to put this off. And when you know you need to get it done, force yourself to get up an hour early. Force yourself to take a nap to reset. Get and put some of your D&D together. Do not disturb, right? I got a whole list of do not disturb times going on in my phone because that's the time I need to be productive, not on Instagram, not on Clubhouse. I need to be making a connection. And here's the last principle I'm going to share with you. I'm going to double two of them together because this is a mindset that we have to have when it comes to being Black and iconic in 2021 during this what? Pandemic, during this what? Pandemic. All right now. So attitude is everything. Hold on to that. Put that right there. And manage your emotions. Let's not take everything personal. Don't take it personal. Don't take everything personal. Have a positive attitude. Don't get bent out of shape. Be flexible, right? It's okay. And you know, here's another thing. When you are looking to get in position, stay humble, right? I stay humble with every contract. When I tell you the contract that I signed just yesterday, and I'm still working on a project with Verizon, but I stay in a place of humility. I stay humble. My attitude, I try my best to stay positive as much as I possibly can. And I needed to learn to shift to say, no, not everybody's trying to hustle me to try to get a contact or get access, right? Some people are genuinely there to support, and it's up to me. Yeah. How I'm showing up, how I perceive things. Change your vision a little bit. Is that okay? Give yourself permission to change the vision. Tighten up your lenses a little bit. And the productive habits is key. Some of our habits is not working for us. Remember what I said, what do you need to stop, start, and continue? What do you need to stop, start, and continue so that you can win? This is all about your big ask. And everyone should have a big ask. By the time you finish with this Black and iconic experience, charge forward with your big ask on your chest. ASK. Who do you need to ask? Who do you need to seek out? What doors do you need to knock on? Get your ask together. Someone has a yes, and the beauty of it is someone even has a no. So I am excited because I'm your girl, Lucinda Cross, and it's all about, for Black and iconic, for me in 2021, is change or be changed. We've seen that. We've experienced it. Some of us had our best year last year, and some of us have experienced our worst. Some of us have allowed the grief of what's going on to settle in and put us in a place of depression and anxiety. And some of us has used it to fuel our life. I'm gonna leave you with this. You can either add years to your life or life to your years. So when you think about your next ask, make sure it is connected to something that is going to add a comma to who you are, who you're becoming, and what you need to do. Someone has an answer for you, and that answer is going to springboard you forward, whether you like it or not, whether it's a yes or a no. Change or be changed. You can either add years to your life or life to your years. But the most important piece that I want you to take away from this message is I need to ask for what I want. Not only do I deserve it, not only is it my time and my turn, but I am in position to move forward, upward, and onward. No more setbacks. This is your girl, Lucinda Cross, Chief Activator, known as the comeback coach with Verizon, as their spokesperson. But most importantly, I'm a woman who believes in what God has placed inside of her, and I believe in you. You got this. Go get your yes. There's a check with your name on it. Peace. Woo! All right, how'd y'all like that? This is halftime. Now we're about to, that was just diving in, right? That's for people who want it quick and dirty. Now let's really dig deep. We have 5 more to go. You still with me? All right, good. Good to see that you're here. Remember, you have change or be changed. We talked about creating productive habits. We talked about managing your emotions. Come on, let's keep it intact. Don't let them see you sweat, but also don't hide the fact that you need help. That's key to the ask, right? That's key to showing up for yourself. That's key to you shining. We also talked about taking responsibility, looking at your Fab 5, faith, family, friends, finances, fitness, and even some fun, which is included into your self-care. your 5 plus the bonus, what do you need to take responsibility? And I mean real responsibility. I mean that deep dive, hard, difficult conversation type of responsibility. Yeah. We talked about the power of belief. That is not talking about it just to talk about it. You know those people, they want to talk about talking about it. They want to have the meeting about the meeting for the meeting so that the meeting can happen. Yeah. We're talking about less talk, more action. Less talk, more action. Let them see the smoke, not the sweat. The smoke is from you taking action, right? The sweat is from you not managing your emotions. Keep those intact. Easy flow. See, one thing that this last year taught me was that I was clearly doing too much. And to stay in this Black and iconic mindset, editing my life, editing my business was key, and it was important. It was important in how I would maintain in my wealth and creating and generating wealth, and how I was taking care of my health. Yes. So here's the thing. We can take as many courses, workshops, trainings, mentors, master classes, masterminds. But if we're not absorbing at least those top 5 mindset principles that I shared, clearly none of that will stick. We want this to stick like MAC lip gloss. Yeah, that old baby MAC lip gloss. We want it to stick like lipstick. Yeah. So let's get ready for the next 5. Y'all ready? Good. All right. The next one is preparing for success. Oh, why I love this principle is because it's not about faking it till you make it. It's not about falling deep into imposter syndrome. Do we have to dive into that imposter syndrome? And here's the beauty of it. Most authentic people deal with the imposter syndrome, believe it or not. Yep. A lot of people who are in their authentic space and self have encountered an imposter syndrome feeling or encounter at some point. But then you got those who just don't know who they are, whose they are, and they just rather be whoever. And so looking at preparing for success, what do you have at your table? What is on your plate? Most importantly, like the word says, what's in your hands? The most powerful thing. So preparing for success, what this looks like is having your documents in order, having your contracts ready, having your certifications in place, having your bank account in order, having your W-9s filled out, having your 1099s filled out, having a flow with the payroll process. Yes, making sure that your profit and loss statements are together, right? Preparing for success is having what is it that you're going to be proposing for this year and who needs to know about it. So that when it's time for you to make your big ask, yes, you know who to go to. Because the key to having that big ask is knowing who to ask, when to ask, and why. Who, when, and why. Sometimes how, right? Sometimes we need to know the courtesy of how, but that's all in the preparation for success. So if someone wanted to contract and work with you right now and give you $50,000, what offer can you offer them without stumbling? I'll wait. What services, products, and if you know it, great. But if you don't know it, work on it. What's your $50,000 offer? Now I'm gonna tell you a secret, and it's not to brag, it's not to showcase. So one of my $50,000 offers came in 2 parts from one company, 1 part speaking, 1 part product, right? So I thought, oh, the 50,000 is going to come straight from this, right? Because I create something called the money mix. I'll share more about that before I close out with this prepare for success. And so I was prepared to split it. So they said, well, we don't have a budget. This is what our budget is for this, for talent. And this is what our budget is for education. I was smart. And the key word I used, get closer, closer. What budget do you have allocated for this particular project? Because I didn't want to undercut myself. And then I didn't want to oversell. Overselling is fine, but I didn't want to undercut myself. So I said, she said, well, Lucinda, what is your rates? Although I had my packages ready and all I needed to do was hit send. By the time we get off the conversation, it's already sent. Review it, sign it, make a payment. That part. So do you even have that part put together? Is the flow in terms of your funnel and getting paid together, or do you got to scramble putting things together? Do you have your PDF fillable contracts ready to be sent out? Not, and making sure that you're not including another client's name on that contract. Oh, I had that before. Somebody sent me that. I said, we won't be working together. Something as petty as that when we're dealing with big money and you got the nerve to have somebody else's name on it. All right, let me get back to preparing for success. So they said, Lucinda, what, something like this, what would the investment be? We seen your rate card, and my rate card, astronomical. I'm doing the most at the rate card. I looked, I said, oh, what Tony Robbins is doing. Eric Thomas, Ayala Van Zott. Okay, yeah, we're going to fix our rates, because why? I'm not doing imposter syndrome, but I do know that I bring value to the table. What's in my hands is great. What's on the table that I lay out, I know I over deliver. What's in my plate, I know I'm going to make sure that the people that I'm working with are going to be well fed with their branding, marketing, and creating a platform, or either I'm going to deliver above and beyond. Yes. And so that's you. You've been delivering, but are you prepared for success on the level that you're praying about based on the power of your belief? Have you managed your emotions enough to get out of fear, doubt, uncertainty, and just not being sure, just kind of winging it is what I was looking for, managing your emotions in that, to where you can be in a place to prepare for success? Have you done the work to where understanding that your attitude for gratitude is everything? That principle and mindset has everything to do with you being Black and iconic, also heard, seen, and paid, and compensated well. So my answer was, what budget do you have allocated for this project based on past events? I said, well, in the past, we've done this, but they were live. This is virtual. And this is the budget that we'll send you the budget in the email. So as I'm drafting up my quote, she emails me her quote, and she says, well, we want to purchase 2,000 books. And then she quoted the fee for my workshops. They wanted me to do 3 activations. Baby, that's keynote times 3. Guess who had the budget? And glad that I didn't put my foot out there, because I almost undercut myself by $10,000. Prepare for success. Be ready. But I had the contract ready. But I asked the question, what budget do you have allocated? Because I knew they had big bank. I did the due diligence. See, that's the thing with your ask. Do your due diligence and see who have they worked with before, who has sponsored them before, who has partnered with them before. Okay, they know what they're doing. And this is what, their 5th year, 8th year, 20th year. Yeah, y'all gonna pay. And how long have you been in business? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah, how long have you been doing what you do? Because the last time I checked, my mother said that I was public speaking when I was 1. Yeah, that's when I started saying my first words, a little bit before I was 1. So I think I've been speaking since then. What made me a professional speaker? When I went to the doctor and he said that my words made sense. It was a pediatrician who did it, not a, Some of us just make this way too complicated. You're already dope and amazing. Just stamp yourself, validate, certify yourself, and call it a day. Prepare for success. There's a contract and a check with your name on it. Yes? All right, my next mindset that we're talking about having, I believe we're up to 7, is balancing. And I hate to use the word balance, right? But I use it because there is a level of management that comes into this. Balancing your business lifestyle. I believe in creating a lifestyle business, meaning that I want my business and my lifestyle to blend together. So I create experiences that are about traveling, where I'm having retreats in Jamaica. Why? Because I love to travel, but I also love to make money. I also love to teach. I also love to train. I also love to be around powerful people, loop them together, a sweet deal, someone grabbed me a rum punch, right? So, look at how the business that you're creating, is it complementing the lifestyle that you want to live? There was a time when I was first starting my business. I started my business in 2006. 2000, I would say 2008, 2009, constantly had the phone to my ear, conference call after conference call after conference call after coaching call, individually coaching, and I was drained. My kids didn't see me. My husband didn't, he wasn't getting no type of fun time, because my thing was, I'm building my business. And remember what I said in the beginning, sitting the family down so they understand what this legacy is that you're creating. I didn't at that time sit the family down. So it just looked like I was more invested and more passionate and more in love with my business idea and my new business than I was with spending time with my small children and my husband, newly married, new small children. And so I had to shift things around, and I had to learn to balance this lifestyle business, this business lifestyle that I wanted. So that incorporated letting them know what I'm working on, infusing and seeing how I can infuse them in my business, even helping them tap into some of their entrepreneurial dreams and desires and aspirations, so that they understand the feeling that I'm going through. Make sense? So what do you need to balance with your business lifestyle or your lifestyle business? What do you need to remove? What do you need to stop, start, and continue? Maybe there's someone you need to ask for help with. Listen, I get someone to come in and do cleaning twice a week. I get someone to help out with meal prep. I get someone to help out with doing the laundry. There's certain things that I don't want to invest my time in, and there's things I do want to invest my time in. I prefer to take a nap than do laundry. I'd rather reset my mind. And that's just me, but it's part of my balance. So I'm not an angry mom when I wake up, right? So balancing your lifestyle, business or business lifestyle, make sure that they complement each other and you're not driving yourself crazy. You're not losing your love, the love of your life, because you're passionate about this new business only because you haven't had proper communication. Communication is everything. To your family, to your friends, to your network. And if they don't get it, some people don't get it. We can't force a non-believer to believe. We can't force someone who don't support themselves to support us. Amen, somebody. Yeah, it's the support for me. So number 8 is daring to dream. Daring to dream, and not only daring to dream, but daring to dream outside and inside the box. Yep. Some people say dare to dream big, but what does that mean, dare to dream big? If you've never dared to dream, there's no such thing as dreaming big or little. Dreams are dreams. They're amazing, and when you accomplish them, you go after another. And you go after another, and you go after another. And the way that I see it, all dreams are on the same level. It's the matter of how important it is for you to help manifest and bring that dream to fruition. Take it out of a dream state and into a living space. Yes? So take it out of the dream state and into a living space. So you have a dream, a desire, an aspiration. Take it off the board. Take the vision off the board and bring it into your life. Dare to dream about it, but take action on it. Yes? So there's some hidden dreams, desires, and aspirations that you love and you've had for years, and they're well overdue. It is time to cut that baby out. C-section, hello, induce this labor right here, because this one has been sitting on this dream for too long. Is that you? And so some of us have been overcomplicating things when it came to this dream. Dare to dream. Even if you don't have all the answers, ask. And even if you have to keep asking, it's okay. But I want you to work on this dream and figure it out along the way. If not, you'll stay stuck at the same rock in the same space, waiting for help. And it's just going to look the same year after year after year. And if you don't want 2021 to look like 2020 or 2019 or 2018, or some of us 2008, take action on that dream, that one that you just pushed to the side. I'm not saying a little dream, the one you said, you know what, I'll work on that later. That's not important. What if that dream is a priority to line up everything in order with your purpose? I'm just saying. I dare you. I double dare you. You know, like back in the days when we was kids, I double dog dare you to do something about that dream that you had, but you put it to the side because you didn't have the support, or because it failed, or because you didn't know where to get the information from, or because you've tried it and you didn't like it at the time because you lost passion in it, because you started working that dream on people who didn't value what you brought to the table. I dare you to try it again. Give it one more time. Get that dream from underneath the rug. Take it out your journal. Yeah, do something with it. Get it off your vision board. Work on that thing. Daring the dream. We talked about, and I believe we are at, is this 9? The courage to take action. I don't know if I addressed that, but there's something about having the fire inside to take action and push yourself forward. And that's why my company is called Activate. I share it all the time. I had stock in procrastination. I had stock in perfectionism, and it brought me down. Remember what I said in the beginning, what wisdom doesn't teach you, rock bottom will. And not having the courage to take action put me in a position of crabs in the barrel mentality, and not the mindset of Black and Iconic, not in the mindset of let me ask boldly, let me show up for myself, because I can't expect someone else to ask for me. These things I need to ask. This I need to show up for myself. This I need to do. Yeah. So do you have enough courage? Do you have enough umph in you? I just want to look back and say, there's something that you were able to overcome that someone didn't even make it through. And I want you to look at that strength that you had when it was time to overcome that, whether it was the time when you realized, listen, I'm about to be a single mother. I got to figure this out, and I got to figure it out quick. Whether it was the time that you found out that you was pregnant and you wasn't ready. Whether it was the time that you realized, oh, shoot, we about to get a divorce. Whether it was the time that you got that report from the doctor, there was something that pushed you to keep going, that you're here today. And I want you to tap back into that energy. That's the courage. That's the lion. That's the roar. I want you to tap back into that. And I want you to use that energy and infuse it to fire you up inside, to say, you know what? I've been playing around with my power, my superpowers. That strength inside, no one else has it. This strength that I have inside that pushed me to where I'm at today. The strength that when they told you that you wouldn't make it. The strength that they told you that you had so many years left to live. The strength where you had to figure it out, and when you realized that your happy home was about to be broken and you've been living in a facade. The strength that when you realize, you know what? This test result is not what I expect. My finances is not what I expect. Someone is, I've been robbed, whatever it was, your tragic moment, and we can't measure whose tragic moment is what, because somebody's tragic moment could be, oh my gosh, this something, whether we think it's minor for someone could be major to them, right? But something has happened in each and every one of our lives that caused us, and it doesn't necessarily have to be tragic. Maybe it's something that forced you to find strength. When I lost my mother, I did not think that I possessed the strength inside of me to keep moving forward, onward and upward in facilitating and moving forward my conference, which was the first Activate conference ever in 2013. I didn't know where the strength would come from. I was confused. I felt like I was at the edge of a ledge. I felt like I was left alone and abandoned. I felt like God had cursed me. The pain was so great. It was undescribable. I did not want to be bothered, and I didn't just even want to be around people. I wanted to sulk and I wanted my mother. But the strength that I found to say, you know what, this conference is still going to go on. She passed in May, Mother's Day weekend. The conference was September 20th. And this was in 2013. But the strength that I found to get up, to care for my children, to get up, and the strength, I'm telling y'all, it was hard to brush my own teeth, to shower, to wash my hair. It took I don't know where the strength came from, to get in the car, to eat food. You see what I'm saying? So there's nothing we can say is too minor or major for someone. There is something that we all go through that we are forced to find a strength. When your boss said that this is your last day, when you found out that you didn't get the job, when you found out that you didn't get that one-shot deal for your rent and you're going to have to leave and vacate, right? So tap into that strength, dive deep, and look for the courage to take action. We can choose to grow. And this is the last part. You have a choice of what the rest of this year is going to look like. You can choose to grow. You can choose to understand. You can choose to get better. You can choose to change. You can choose to take yourself from being ordinary to extraordinary. And that's what Black and Iconic is. I'm Lucinda Cross. I thank you and I appreciate you. And I look forward to seeing you shine.
Hello everyone, let me begin by saying thank you to BlackCEO for the opportunity to serve you from the stage. I don't want to be rude, so let me introduce myself and let me share with you why I am called to serve you today. And so in the words of Jay-Z, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is LaShawna N. Williams, the Success Navigator. I am an entrepreneur, I am a VP of Finance, I am a published author, an international speaker, and the founder of Busy Black Girls. I have 20 plus years of corporate America experience. I know, I look good for my age, right? No, I have 20 plus years of corporate America experience. I have an undergraduate degree in accounting and an MBA in computer information systems. Whew. I was born and raised in New York City, yes, South Jamaica, Queens, yes, go, 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 all of that. But I moved to Georgia 18 years ago, 18 long years ago. And over the past 5 years, I've created a thriving brand and a profitable business, all while climbing the corporate ladder. Again, I'm a VP of Finance who started out as a temporary employee in the company that I work for. So yeah, I climbed that corporate ladder. And I currently offer products and services to other high achieving women who want to go from punching a clock to calling the shots in their own business. And because of all of this, I am no stranger to the struggles that one faces building a business while working full time. So again, I have to figure out ways to unplug, unwind, decompress, so I'm not stressing myself out and giving myself gray hairs. And so I love to travel. Previously, I've traveled to like Bali, South Africa, Marrakesh, just lovely places so that I could just experience the culture and the food, right? And just have that. I always wanted to travel, and I was told that I would never see anything other than South Jamaica, Queens. And I've been to several continents, several countries, and all of that. So, to you haters. But in any event, I love to travel. I love spa days. I love spending time with family and friends. I love going to the movies. But all of this was pre-COVID. So I'm looking forward to getting back to that after all of this is said and done, because this too shall pass. But enough about me. I don't want to go on and on. Again, I'm here to serve you and to give you a couple of nuggets to help you grow, help you build businesses. And so I want to get right into the crust of the thing, right? I want to get right into the meat so that we can give you going so that you can move forward on your journey to success, right? And so I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need a little bit of help from you, right? So if you are ready to go from employee to entrepreneur, if you are ready to build your side hustle so you could turn it into your main hustle, and if you are ready to build multiple streams of income, and if you're like, yes, 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 then I'm in the right room, and then we need to talk. And then this talk is for you. This session is for you. And so let's get started. And like I said, I'm going to need your help. And what I'm going to need from you is that you clear your mind of everything that's going on right now. Clear your mind. Just be in a space where you can kind of like envision some things. And I want you to envision this situation for yourself. Just think about it. You wake up one day and you're like, oh, this is going to be my day. You know how you have those days and you're like, this is going to be my day. I am going to tackle the world, right? I'm going to take over the world. I'm going to be productive. I am going to do a thing. I am the boss, right? And you have a great breakfast, whatever that looks like for you, bacon and eggs, a smoothie, whatever that looks like for you, because you're going to take over the world. You are super excited, energetic, and ready, right? And you pick out your favorite outfit, whatever that looks like, because if you're going into the office, you may be dressed to the nines. But if you are working from home, like many of us are, that may be your best loungewear. But whatever the environment you're working in, whether that's a piece of your house right now or whether you're going into the office, you are ready. You are ready to take over the world. You are ready to do a darn thing. You are ready to show your boss at work what you got going on, right? What you can bring to the table with your value, right? You are ready. And so you log on and you see a meeting invite from HR. And you're like, okay, I'll join. This is nothing. Maybe this is my promotion. Maybe this is a little bit of some extra money in my check, right? Because I've been working and busting my butt for this company for so long. Maybe now they see the value and now they want to promote me. And you're thinking about all the ways in which you can spend it. Okay, my ladies, you're like, oh, I could buy an outfit, that new bag, or maybe I could upgrade my car. So you're thinking about all of these things, right? So you got it in your head that this is going to be your payday. They are finally recognizing you for what you bring to the table. And so you log on to this meeting and you're ready. All you can think about is spending these dollars, right? All you can think about is spending those dollars. And then you hear HR saying something that goes a little like, I'm sorry, the company is going through a restructure. And unfortunately, we will no longer need your services. Your position has been eliminated. Now, you go into shock, right? You can't believe your ears. You are numb to the fact of what did they just say? What did they just say? All you could think about was your financial situation, your family, how many hours you've been busting your butt for this company. And now you hear this, you're no longer needed. What? You can't even believe your ears. You go from sadness to anger, to frustration, to stress, then to, oh my God, what am I going to do? Because you have no plan B. No plan B. You are not ready for this. You are not equipped. You did not even think about what was next because you were so busy busting your butt, giving 110% for this company that you didn't think about what was next. Wow, right? Wow. This does not have to be your story. This does not have to be the situation that you are in. There are ways in which you can come out with a plan B. There are ways in which that you can have I know what my next is going to be. And that's where we're going to spend the bulk of our time. We're going to talk about how we get that plan B. We're going to talk about how we can have the power back in our career so that if we ever find ourselves in that situation, no, I'm not being sad. I'm not doing all of that. I'm skipping out of that office like, okay, give me my severance or have a nice day, whatever that looks like. But I'm not giving anybody else the power for my livelihood. That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how you build a side hustle, grow that side hustle so that you can then turn it into your main hustle. If you are ready to go from, like I said, employee to employer, if you are ready to live the life that you desire, and if you are ready to turn your side hustle into your main hustle so that you can now go cha-ching in your bank account, but also so that you can have that power back in your career, then this is for you. Then we are ready to explore how we do this. We are ready to explore my 3M strategy on how to turn your side hustle into your main hustle, right? I want you to get your pen and paper ready because I'm going to be going through some of these a little quickly, but I want you to take them down so that you can now marinate on them and take action. This is all about taking action because, again, we don't want that scenario to happen to us. We don't want to be in that predicament. We want to have the power back in our career, right? So are you ready for the 3 M's? Are you ready? And so the first M is mindset. Mindset. The second M is management. And the third M is money. So let's get started. Let's just get right into a darn thing, right? So I know y'all are like, okay, yes, how can I turn my side hustle into a main hustle? How can I build a side hustle, grow a side hustle, even start a side hustle? I'm going to tell you, I'm going to start with my 3 M's now. And we're going into mindset. And this is super important. And this is where we all should start. I don't care where you are on your entrepreneurial journey. You should start with mindset because there is a shift that needs to take place when you are going from employee to employer. And so let's start talking about those mind shifts that need to happen. And the first shift that needs to happen is that when we go from employee to employer, many times we go into it like I'm wearing all of these hats and I need to be all things to all people. And I need to be the marketing person, the finance person, the HR person. And I need to do all of these things, right? And we go into it just thinking that we need to be this solopreneur. We wear that as a badge of honor and we move forward in it, never really stepping back and creating a business. If you cannot take 2 weeks away from your business, right? If you cannot go on a vacation for 2 weeks from your business and it run on its own, then what you have done is created a job. Okay, let me say that again. What you have done is created a job, and ain't nobody got time for that. We are not going from one job to another. What we are building is a business. And so we need to go into this entrepreneurial space with the mindset that we are building a business, not another job. And so start doing the things that you see in the company that you work for and start, kind of mirroring that, right? They have an HR department. They have a finance department. They have other people doing other things. The CEO is not the person that's in HR or not the person over here in finance or not the person over here in the marketing department. There are different departments for different things. The CEO oversees the business and makes sure that everything is running smoothly, but he's not doing all of these different pieces, right? And we have to go into our business the same way, right? Not making a job for ourselves. And nobody got time for that, right? The second mind shift that you need to have is that you need to take what served you well in your current job and transition that into your business. What do I mean by that? So if you are great at project management, if you are great at leadership, if you are great at creating creative thinking and strategic thinking, then bring that over into your business. As I mentioned before, many a times we go into a thing or we go into our business venture and we wear all of these hats and we think that we need to be all things to everybody. And what do they say? You are a jack of all trades and a master of none. And that is because we're not doing what serves us well. We're not leaning on our superpower. And that's what we need to do and bring into our business. And once we assess what our superpower is, then that's when we go, okay, well, I need somebody to manage the finances. I need to start delegating and outsourcing some of these things because my superpower, my area of expertise is this. And this is where I need to be. I need to stay in my lane over here. And then I need to outsource accordingly, right? But in the beginning, don't get me wrong, when we're starting out a business, yes, you're wearing all those hats, but eventually you're moving into a space to where you're not wearing all those hats. You're delegating, you're hiring, you're outsourcing, and you are, staying into your superpower. You're leaning into your superpower. And that's what you need to do, right? Do the thing that serves you well in corporate and bring it over. Too many times we become frustrated because we're wearing all of these hats and we're doing things that are not in our wheelhouse or that's not part of our superpower. And we get frustrated, get stressed out, and we get ready to quit. Let's not do that. And the third mind shift that you need to have is run your race at your own pace. Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. Run your race at your own pace. We are working full time and building a business. I can't go out there on social media and see somebody say, oh, I built my business, my 6-figure business in 6 weeks. Great for you. Celebrating you. Yes, but that's not me. Why? Because 8 to 9 hours a day, I'm working on my job. And then I'm working on my business for another 20 hours for that week, right? So my race is a little bit different from everybody else's. And I got to remember that I'm running my race at my own pace. So I got to create the vision, the goals, and the action plan for my business, what is conducive to my lifestyle, and run that race accordingly, right? So many times we go into this comparison syndrome and we're comparing ourselves to everybody else. But I want you to remember this, that you already have 2 streams of income. One is your job and the other is your business. So already you are on a path and on a journey that's much different than that full-time entrepreneur or whomever that is. And we're not discounting or discrediting what they're doing or the success that they're having. What we're saying is their journey is theirs and your journey is yours. You are exactly where you need to be. Remember that. You are exactly where you need to be. So don't get into this comparison thing and be like, oh my gosh, I need to be further along in this. Again, you need to run your race at your own pace. I want you to remember that. So again, those are the mind shifts that you need to have as you are moving forward and turning your side hustle into your main hustle. So management, oh my gosh, management. You need to manage your business. And this is so key because this transcends to wherever you are on your entrepreneurial journey. Like I said, if you are just starting out or if you are already a 5-figure, 6-figure business, you need to make sure that you have incorporated the phases that I'm getting ready to talk to you about, because this is necessary for any business, whether you're a $1 billion company or whether you just started out. These are the phases that you need to have. And if you ever watched a company, you will see these phases throughout their life, their customer journey or their life cycle. So let's get to it, right? Manage your business. So the first one is awareness. And many of us that have been in corporate America for a long time, we get caught up in this one here. Because we're like, oh my gosh, I hate going on social media. Oh my gosh, I don't like to do videos. I mean, we go on and on as to why we can't do certain things. But I'm going to ask you this. So do you want money? Then you need to start doing the things that are going to build awareness in your business. Do you want to see your bank account grow? Then you need to start building that exposure and having people know who you are. But what we do most often is that we start a business based on our passion. Great. It's great to start a business on your passion. And we start selling and marketing to our friends and family. And then we get mad because they don't want to buy, or that it dries up, right? They bought their one thing to help support you. Okay, sis, I'm going to do this for you. And then that's it. But we don't realize that they're not our target market. They're not our target market. So all they did was kind of like support us and give us a pat on the back and say, oh, I'm proud of you, but they're not lifetime customers. So if you just stop there, then no, you're not going to make the sales that you need. What you need to do is start building awareness and start getting more people into your circle. And then you can start building your customer base, right? So once you start, you may be starting out with this small pond of people, right? Your family and friends. But we need to build an ocean of people. We need to start expanding that. And how do we do that? We run lead magnets, opt-ins, they're called freebies, whatever you want to call them, right? And then you start building a tribe. You start going out there and being on social media. Yes, you may have to do some videos and you may have to post some information out there, but you're showing people that you're the expert. You may have to go on stage and talk to people, talk to different audiences so that you can start building this ocean of a network, and then take them on the next two phases that I'm getting ready to talk about so that you can now build paying customers and then lifetime customers, right? But first, people got to know who you are. So you got to build that awareness. Secondly, consideration. Now that people are aware of what, who you are, now I got to be like, now you want your customer to be like, maybe I might, do work business with them. Maybe I might buy their product, or maybe I might, take into their services, or, pay for their services. But I need to, I need to see a little something. So this is when you start getting those testimonials. This is when you start giving the samples, right? This is when you may start offering like mini courses or just like mini tastes. Like this is the appetizer piece of your business. And so I'm giving a little dab of do you so that you can start now considering buying my big ticket item, whatever that is for you. It's not a price point. It's just whatever that big ticket item is for you. And this is when you start building that consideration. So now they know you, like in the awareness, they know you. And then this is now where they start to like you, right? They start to like you because now you're exhibiting yourself as the expert. And now I know a little bit about your product and how it can best serve me and be the solution to my problem. So now I'm considering being that customer, being your fan, and being that lifetime consumer of your product or service, right? So again, you have awareness and then you have consideration. And then you go into purchase. And this is when they become the customer. This is when you want them to be the raving fans. This is when you want them to buy from you forever. Think about it, right? Think about those products that you consume and how you'll consistently buy, right? Nike and Amazon and all of these places that you buy from, right? You are lifetime now that they got you in and you can't get out. You're in the web and you can't get out. And that's what you want for your consumer as well. So you want to build that customer journey, that experience for them to where they are always looking to you for whatever that product and service is. They're looking to you for that solution to their problem. And so again, you want to take them on that journey. Now, there are many different steps within those phases that I talked to you about. And again, I don't have time to go through all of them. Hopefully you'll catch me in my workshop and then we can talk about this a little bit more. But for right now, just remember you need to manage your business. And so that is awareness, consideration, and purchase, right? And the next M, this is the third M of my 3M strategy is money. Okay. I don't want to be singing, but money, 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 right? We all like, oh, I want money, want money, want money. But again, it takes money to make money. And you got to do the work to make the money. And so, this is a huge component, not only to receive it, but also that we have to start thinking about showing me the money, making the money, keeping the money, right? So that you can now invest and build your business, right? It's one thing to launch it, but you got to build it so that it can grow. And so when we talk about money, there are different things that I wanted to talk to you about, kind of like 3 areas in which are really important when you're talking about managing money, right? So pricing, oh my gosh, how many of us, right? We go into this entrepreneurial space and we're like, I'm just gonna, charge $2 for my products, so that people can buy, or, that not so many people are buying, because again, we went to our family and friends, and so we think that we need to price it accordingly so that they can buy some more. Meanwhile, what we must do, as I talked to you about before, is that we got to build this wider net for the people, our target market, the people that we are supposed to serve, and then price our products and services accordingly, right? Accordingly. What does it take to make that product? What are the cost of goods sold? What are the pieces that go in there? What is the labor that goes into that? And cost it, price it out accordingly. What is the markup that we want? What is the industry standard for the type of service or product that we're offering? These things are factors that must go into our pricing strategy, not just, oh, well, my friend said they would buy it if it was $2. Yeah, that's great. Then they're not your target market. They're not your target market. And so we must price our stuff accordingly. And this gets us in trouble all the time because we undervalue our products and services. And then when we go out into the market, it just looks like, oh, well, that's a low ticket item, or that's not priced accordingly. Why am I going to go with this over here for $2 when the industry standard is $20? Something must be wrong with that thing, right? You know how the consumer thinks. And so do not devalue your products and services. Let's price this thing accordingly and make sure that it makes sense, right? And then the other thing is setting realistic revenue goals. You gotta know what you're trying to achieve. You gotta know where we're supposed to go, right? We have to have that destination. And so what we tend to do as career professionals moving into this entrepreneurial space is that our first year out, we're like, you know what? I'm gonna make exactly what I'm making on my job. And that may be all the well fine and good. That may be all fine and good. But usually let's start off with a realistic goal somewhere along the lines of, okay, this is my product offering. I know I can get these many customers, or this is the strategy that I'm doing to get these many customers in my mix. And so this is roughly about where I think I'm going to be for this year. Now, again, don't lowball the revenue goal, but do make it so it's realistic so that you can achieve that goal. Now, if you go over and if you overachieve, then yes, great for you, right? Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. But the object of it is to have a goal. And once you have that annual goal, then what you do is you divide that by 12. And then this is your monthly goal. So now this is where the rubber meets the road, because now you have, okay, this is what I'm going to make per month. And I now have to create a strategy in order to get there. So what I need to do is think about, okay, 1, what's the price of my product? 2, how many people am I going to get to buy this product? And how am I going to get them to buy that product, right? And so that's what you must do in order to achieve that goal. But you need to know what that looks like, right? So if I have a goal of $10,000 for that month, then I know I need to have these products, whatever it might be, 4 or 5 of my products, right? Because if they're low ticket items, then I know I need to get more people in the mix to buy so that I can reach that goal. If it's high ticket items or a mixture of those, then I need to know how many of those people need to buy in order for me to reach that revenue goal. But you need to have a goal so that you can create a strategy, right? So yeah, let's create and set that realistic revenue goal. And then let's assess each month where we're at and what we need to adjust. Again, go into the entrepreneurial space as if this is a test, right? and that you're able to pivot and adjust and make adjustments along the way. Don't think of this as one and done, like, oh my gosh, I priced this incorrectly, or oh my gosh, I didn't hit my revenue goal, and then quit. No, no. You say, oh, you know what? People are buying and it's buying out, it's selling out. So I need to price a little bit higher than that. I need to tweak that price a little bit. As far as your revenue goal, oh my gosh, I'm missing my revenue goal. What do I need to do to make that to make me hit that goal or exceed that goal? So I'm adjusting accordingly and not just giving up because something didn't work. No, this is that trial and error. This is you enjoying the journey. Because again, we're working full time and building a business. So we have that flexibility to maneuver certain things, to adjust certain things, and to pivot if necessary. So again, as you are talking about your money, I want you to first price your product accordingly, and then two, set your revenue goals, right? And then once you do that, then the next thing that you need to do is pay attention to your numbers. Oh my gosh, so many times we're like, all right, I sold this. How many units did you sell? I don't know. How many people, did you sell to? I don't know. How many people do you have on your social media platform? I don't know. Pay attention to your numbers. This is very important, because the more you pay attention, then you're able to know where you need to, make adjustments, right? How do you know that you need to change your expenses if you're not looking at them? How do you know that you need to sell more of this product if you're not looking at that, right? So it's very important for you to not only create a P&L, and that's your profit and loss statement, but it's also good for you to start looking and creating your cash flow. This is another thing that people are like, oh, cash flow, why do I need to look at that? Because you need to know how the cash is coming in so that you can pay out. Let's think about it, right? If I have a membership service, right, and people are paying me $10 a month, but I have expenses that are due at the beginning of the month that are like $100, right? So let's make this a simple example. I got one person in my membership club or my membership program that's paying me $10 a month. But my bills for January, just for January, is $100. Now it's going to take me 10 months of that person paying for me to even pay that one month of expenses. My cash, like I'm cash poor. Come February, I'm cash poor. I'm in the red, right? So you need to know how the cash is coming in and how it's going out so that you won't be cash poor. Because what's going to happen there, what do they say? You got to rob Peter to pay Paul? You're going to have to rob Peter to pay Paul because your cash is not coming in quick enough and you got bills that you need to pay. So you must make sure that you take you take heed and assess your money, your P&L, and your cash flow. Cash flow is super important, and we tend not to look at it. We tend to discount it. And it's no fault of our own. Who wants to think about all of this, right? Because again, you're in a corporate America, and if you're not in finances, somebody else does this job, right? But now you're in business, and so there's no one else. It's you. And even when you become that business owner, as we talked about, it's still you, because you still want to know where your money is going. You still want to be in the know about how and where your money is going. Don't leave that up to somebody else. You need to know your numbers, right? So again, let's go through those 3M, that 3M strategy. It is mindset, right? And we talked about some 3 things that are in the mindset, and the manage your business. And then we talked about money. So those are the 3 M's of building your business, growing your business, and turning your side hustle into your main hustle. Again, I know I had just a little bit of time with you, and I'm running through some of this. So hopefully, like I said, you'll come on over and work with me in the workshop, and then we can spend a lot more time on these things. But I wanted to give you a few nuggets so that you can move forward and take action, because this is all about you taking action. So hopefully you got your notes, you jot down everything, and now you're ready to move forward. Because again, I'm going to ask you, are you ready to create multiple streams of income? Are you ready to start thinking about what's next for you, right? Building that life that you desire. building that dream, manifesting that vision that you have for your life? Are you ready to watch your bank account grow, right? While you're still working full time, right? And are you ready to put into play the strategies, the tools, the things that you need so that that scenario that we went through in the beginning, that's not going to be your story. So if any of those questions, you're like, yes, 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 which I'm hoping that all of you are like, yes, 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 then I want you to take heed and move forward into those 3 M's, the 3M strategy. I want you to take heed and take action, right? And so I'm going to leave you with all of that. Hopefully you're taking notes, but I also want you to know that you are more than welcome to reach out to me. I'm on social media, Lashana N. Williams. That's on Facebook, or Lashana Coaches on Facebook and Instagram. But also I want you to go to www.blackgirls.com. And this is where you'll see everything that is, products and services, but also take that quiz, take the boss quiz and see where you're at on that spectrum. If you're ready to leave your 9 to 5, if you're ready to go on and be that boss of your company, I want you to take the quiz and see where that garners you, like where you're at on that spectrum. And then let's see if you're ready. Let's see if you're ready to turn your side hustle into your main hustle. So once again, I want to thank BlackCEO for this opportunity to serve you from the stage. I am Lashana N. Williams, the Success Navigator and your career transition coach. And I want to thank you for allowing me to serve you today. Let's make that money, turn that side hustle into the main hustle, and let's start building that legacy, that wealth, that business, that all of that. I want you to do all of that and have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hello, everyone. Hello, I am Chris Roebuck, and I am so excited to be with you today. Today, we're going to be talking about why money is the answer to everything. Being broke is not the answer to anything. So get out of debt right now. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And I just hope before you leave today that you will come to the realization that being broke is not the answer to anything. So let's just get right into it. We're going to, talk about the money. That money is the answer to everything, and being broke is the answer to not the answer to anything. So let's just continue on. The Washington Post said before the pandemic that nearly 80% of people live paycheck to paycheck. So let's just kind of let that sink in for a moment. 80% of people live paycheck to paycheck. So that was before the pandemic, and we can only imagine what it is now. CNBC said that 4 in 5 workers live paycheck to paycheck. So if you're in the room with 5 people, just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One of you live paycheck to paycheck. And, but the question that I want to ask you today is, do you have a path to debt freedom? So in order to, circumvent and make those numbers go down, I want to talk to my brothers and sisters today to make sure that, we are not a part of the percentage. Not that we want anybody else to be, but I'm, talking to you today, and you're going to know why. I'm going to give you some stats here shortly on the African American community. But do you have a path to debt freedom? If you don't have a path to debt freedom, why don't you have a path to debt freedom? Who is preventing you from knowing where you're going? Who is preventing you from getting a path to debt freedom in motion? You have to know where you're going. You have to know where you're headed. Otherwise, you just may not make it to your destination. So question that I need you to ask yourself is, why do you want to be debt free? Just think about it. Everybody wants to be debt free, but they don't even really know why or the purpose, of being debt free. Why do they want to be debt free? What could money actually answer for you? Is your thought that maybe you want to buy more material things, or you want a bigger house or a more expensive car? What could money answer for you? Remember, though, money is the answer to everything. Being broke is not the answer to anything. So in order for you to actually get the things that you desire, you have to get out of debt right now. Maybe you just want to put more food on the table, or place a roof over your head and that of your family, or maybe you just want a better life for your family. What could money answer for you? You think about it. You fill in the blank. Do you want to create generational wealth? Would you like to invest more, or would you like to give more? So just think about that. You really need to give this some thought. Step one, you really need to decide to be debt free. Remember, I asked you about the question of, do you have a path to debt freedom? Well, if you have not decided to become debt free, you don't have a path to debt freedom. So step one is you need to make a decision. Making a decision to become debt free is the most important thing that you can do to get on the path to debt freedom. Because why? Money is the answer to everything. Being broke is not the answer to anything. That's why you need to get out of debt right now. So step two is watch how you speak about your life. I have counseled so many individuals, and I've heard so many different things, and these are just a few of them. And some of them used to be my own words. So there's a poverty mindset that some of us have. I'm saying I'm always broke, or I'm always going to be broke, or I can never seem to make ends meet. And I want to just say to you, my friends, that ends don't meet. That's why you cannot make ends meet. They don't meet. And then another is that if it isn't another one thing, it's another. Absolutely. If you say that, that's exactly the way that it's going to be. I don't have any money. I'll never get ahead. Nothing ever seems to go my way. This kind of talk is a poverty mindset. And it is reversible. It's something that can actually be remedied, but you have to do something. And it starts with watching the way you speak over your life. And some people say, I'm always last, or I'll always be broke. As I said, absolutely. If you say it, that's exactly the way it's going to be. So watch how you speak about your life, and also how you allow other people to speak about your life. So step three is you have to know your numbers. What numbers, Chris? Well, you have to know what your credit scores are. It's very, very important that you mind your own business. If you don't mind your own financial portfolio, then you're in pretty big trouble. So know your credit scores. What's your middle score? What does TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian say? The kind of risk that you may be, or lenders might think, because they use your credit score. They look at that number and make a decision as to whether you're a high risk or a low risk. That determines whether they will lend money to you. So know your numbers. Also know the amount of debt that you owe. How much do you owe? Who do you owe? Do you have an idea of who you owe? Remember, if you don't know who you owe or how much you owe, how will you be able to get out of debt? I was thinking about this, and I'm looking at, think about, the number of people that I deal with sometimes, and if I were to even ask many of you, have you even looked at your credit report? Did you run it last year? Do you know what's on it? Because if you don't know what's on your credit report, you really don't know who you owe and how much you owe. It could be that your identity could be stolen and you have a boat, you have a house, you have a second mortgage, you have a vehicle that you don't even get to enjoy, but perhaps somebody else is enjoying it on your behalf. So know your numbers, know who you owe, know how much you owe. Also, you want to know your bottom line. So what is your bottom line? Are you in the black or are you in the red? Your bottom line is your net. It will determine what your net monthly spendable income. That is your assets minus your liabilities. So you want to make sure that you know what that is. What are your liabilities? As I just talked about, who do you owe? What's your income? And you subtract your liabilities from that. That's going to tell you how much money you have left to spend at the end of each month. So know what your net spendable income is. At the same time, know what your assets are. You have to know what your worth is financially, so to speak. And the only way is that you have to make sure that you're on top of your game. So let's just keep going. Do you have a clear vision? Do you have a vision at all, for your finances? And if you have a vision, how clear is it? If there is no vision, then it's only a thought. If you don't have a financial vision, think about it. Most people plan for their weddings and retirements more than they do their own financial well-being, for their own financial well-being. There's no vision for your finances, their finances. So don't let that be you, as far as, not having a clear vision. Make sure that you hone in on, whatever you envision for your finances. Before I even get to that, I wanted to share with you that, Black Enterprise said that 37% of African Americans own wealth building products. 37% is a very low number, so envision, what your future is going to look like, what your retirement is going to look like. And I'm going to, get to that. But how can you really reach or meet your goals without having a vision and making sure that it's clear? What are your long-term and short-term goals? What does your retirement lifestyle look like? It was really startling to me to find out that only 35% of African Americans really believe that they're doing a good job at preparing for retirement. So let that sink in for a minute. 65% of African Americans will retire unprepared. They'll retire without the lifestyle that they lived before retirement. That number is very high. Remember, money is the answer to everything. Being broke is not the answer to anything. So that's why you have to get out of debt right now. If you plan to live the same lifestyle or comparable to what you're living now, especially if you have a great paying job and benefits and all of that, you have to prepare for it. So do you have an investment strategy in place? Are you planning for college tuition for your children, or maybe you want to go back to college? How are you preparing for these things? What is your vision? As I said before, you fill in the blank. What do you envision? Maybe you want to travel outside of the country 2 or 3 times a year. Maybe you just want to travel across the country 2 or 3 times a year. What is your vision for your finances? Do you have plans for maybe that business that you have dreamed about starting? And remember, if you have not planned properly, you will not be able to accomplish your dreams and goals. It's only a thought in your mind if you don't plan and if it's not written. And we're going to talk about getting that written. Do you have plans to build your custom home? You have to plan for that. There's a lot that's entailed in building a custom home. You can't just wake up and say, I want to do it. There's a lot, and money is needed to do it. So, all right. So we've talked about a few very important things, and this is especially important, is that your financial plan encompasses what you envision about it. It's not enough to just think about it, as I said, but you must write it down. So ask yourself, do you have a written plan? You got a sharp vision. Now you have to write it down, or a sharper vision. And this should be, you should at least revisit your goals and your dreams, at least once a week, twice a month, until you really get them, in your heart and know exactly where it is you're going. But at least, you want to, even after that, make sure that you visit, and revise, because your life is going to change. So you want to make sure that you update, your vision, update your written plan. So put your plan into action. A robust plan will enable you to solidify your strategy. If there's no written plan right now, you are not able to even put a strategy together. If you haven't taken a look at who you owe, what you owe, there is no way that you will be able to put a strategy. You don't have what you need to implement a strategy. So a robust plan will enable you to solidify your strategy. So implement your robust financial plan, your financial strategy today. You want to think about how you will accomplish these goals. You need to put a timeline to it, because it's not enough to say, okay, well, I want to get out of debt and I want to get out of debt today. Unless a miracle is going to happen, if you're in debt over your head, it's not going to take place. So you need to say within the next 5 years, depending on how much effort you put into it, and also how much debt you have, within the next, 3 to 5 years, I have plans to be out of debt, and this is how I'm going to do it. So then make sure that you prioritize your plans. There are sacrifices that you're going to have to make. You would certainly have to make some adjustments, to your spending. You're going to have to probably do more than or do more than your peers. Just do some different things. Probably not eat out as much, or probably not even buy that new car this year because you're on your way somewhere. So make sure that you prioritize your plans and don't let anybody sway you. Stick to it. So economic leverage, I just want to say, is in reach. It is within reach. The only thing that you have to do is to take one step at a time towards the light that leads you to the path to financial freedom. So knowing where you're going and why you're going there is important. I'm just recapping. And you just want to make sure that that you have a clear understanding, a clear vision. Watch how you speak about, your life. Watch how others speak about your life, and just make sure above everything else that you execute the plan. Make sure it's robust. Make sure you have a strategy and stick to it. And I guarantee you, within those 3 to 5 years, or whatever your timeline is, you will certainly meet your goals if you stick to it, if you don't allow anyone to sway you from your plans. Because let me tell you, money is the answer to everything, but being broke is not. the answer to anything. So get out of debt right now. And my challenge to you as I close, my challenge to you is to decide to be debt free and decide to do it today. I really appreciate you joining me. And I look forward to hearing some of the great testimonies through the Black CEO organization Facebook page.
Greetings. I am Dr. Daphne Clark Hudson, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. However, before I get into the task at hand today, I would like to share a story with you. The story is of a 13-and-a-half-year-old girl that it so happens that I know her personally. The girl I'm about to tell you her story, she lost her mother at the tender age of 13 and a half. Her mother was an asthmatic, and she usually stayed home with her mother to take care of her whenever she had an asthmatic attack. For that reason, that young girl missed several days in school. That girl was born into a farming community in the country of her birth. And because of that, she did not have the privilege to attend high school. So she got all of her education at the elementary school in her country. Although she got her education at her elementary school, you see, when she attended to her mother, one of the things her mother usually tell her is that, sweetie, that's what her mother called her, you are going to be a wonderful nurse. The only difference is that you are going to be getting paid while you do nursing. Well, although her mother died early, that girl continued going to nursing school. Fast forward today, I am that little girl. I pursued nursing, and even when I was doing nursing, I was doing it differently. I talked to everyone because I not only saw my patients as patients, I saw them as a human soul. And my journey over these 20 plus years is a commitment to what I felt deep inside me. I knew that each and every one of us was born for a specific purpose. Yes, we came into this world with a why and our sole purpose. And that's why I can boldly stand before you today and I can tell you that I am a billionaire and so are you. Now, let us go into withdrawing from your universal bank account. Many of you are listening to me and you are saying, Dr. Daphne, oh, I am not a billionaire because I couldn't even pay my light bill today. That will end today. You are going to learn the tips and trades and techniques to help you to withdraw from your universal bank account. I want to encourage you, take a breath, clear your mind. There are some cobwebs, there are some things that you will need to unlearn in order to access your billionaire status. Yes, if you are over the age of 15, you have a lot of things that you have learned that you will need to unlearn. However, all things are possible. So there is no failure here, regardless of the journey that you've been on. Today is the day when you are going to understand the importance of your billionaire status. I have a couple of questions for you. Are you working in your calling? Are you focusing on the true purpose that you were born for? Are you sometimes asking yourself the question, is there more to life? I am sure this is not the reason I was brought in this world. You have such a void in your life. Some of you are extremely successful. You're in the corporate arena. You are what they call hitting the glass ceiling. Some of you shatter the glass ceiling when it comes to the material things. However, you wake up every day and there is such a big emptiness inside of you. I'm here to tell you the reason that is happening is because you are not operating in your why and soul purpose. And boy, oh boy, am I glad to be here, because I'm here to help dismantle that. You see, when I work with individuals, I have the freedom and the ability to deeply connect with their inner blueprint for success, so I can guide them towards unrealized potential. So you don't need to worry. You will not be alone on this journey, because I am here for you. One step at a time. Your why and soul purpose is not far away. As some people say, it is just right below your nose. And you know why we can confidently say that? It's because there are certain things that really eggs you. It antagonizes you. It bothers you. You lose sleep over it. And other people around you, they don't see anything wrong with it. Let me tell you, there's a reason why that is happening. The reason that is happening is because you were born to fix that thing. You see, when your mom became impregnated with you, the reason that that egg was fertilized with that particular sperm is because the universe had a specific reason for you to come into this world. So, when you were fertilized, your universal bank account was opened. And when you were given birth, you came into this world, this bank account was stamped with your name and it was handed to you. Shamefully enough, many of us sit around and we do not touch that. And it stays there. It grows dividends. It has interest. Even our ancestors begin to put some dividends and some interest. The work that we continue to do, it escalates and it grows, it grows, it grows. And it is there. And guess what, guys? Many people die and they leave this world and they never draw once out of their universal bank account. However, aren't you glad that you are listening today? You have the opportunity to connect with me so that I can guide you along, so you can begin to draw from your universal bank account. Why would you want to leave your billions untouched? You have greatness. There are others out there who are waiting and listening to hear what your story is. Don't be ashamed. There is a saying that you can use your mess as your message. You're listening to me. I was homeless. I had 5 miscarriages. And I could go on and on with all of the other obstacles that I encounter in life. However, it was not very long ago, maybe 15 years or so, that I realized I needed to capitalize on my universal bank account and to begin to draw from the billions that were set aside for me. You may be sitting around and some people like to say, well, how much does it cost to do that? Look at it as an investment. You need to invest in yourself. You need to get a mentor. You need to get a coach. Why? Because you deserve it. It's not by accident that you are participating in this event today. You were divinely directed here because you know what? The universe has a way of lovingly nudging us and say, come on, this interest is getting high. The dividends here is getting high. When are you going to start to withdraw for it? Be courageous. Begin to believe in yourself. Understand that there are so many possibilities that are available to you. The truth about it is you cannot do it alone. Yes, let me be vulnerable. For years, I tried to do it by myself. And even when I would hire the best coaches, I would not get the additional help that I need. I wanted to be paying for the right coaches, investing in the right coaches and mentor. However, I wanted to be a lone ranger when it came to managing the business. Don't do it to yourself. Get all the needed help that you need because your success is here waiting on you. You are a billionaire and so am I. So I am looking forward to hearing when you will be telling someone that it was a certain date in 2021 that I realized the importance of taking full advantage of my universal bank account. Listen, there is no one like you out there. There is no one like me. We are all unique. And this is the reason why we can boldly and confidently say we are all billionaires because we have no reason to compete with each other. There is enough. Our bank account is uniquely designed and created for us. I am looking forward to you giving yourself the best gift that you could ever give to yourself so that before you exit out of here, you will be able to stand boldly and to say, I am so happy when I began drawing from my universal bank account. I want you, the minute you finish with this event, I want you to go out and begin to document the way you're going to do this. The first thing I want you to do, I want you to buy a journal and I want you to begin to write in there all of the things that you are looking to manifest. Don't worry about how they will be done. Just jot them down. The how is not your responsibility. What I wanted to do is 1, make the decision to get the journal. 2, I want you to begin to jot down your intentions in there and look around. See all of the successes you have done. And as you identify those things that you have written down in your journal, you will probably notice that some of those things are in alignment with what you have done. What is going to be happening differently? You will now notice that that void inside of you is narrowing because you are drawing from your universal bank account. And because of that reason, you're filling the void. You're finding out you have more pep in your step. You're getting better sleep. You're feeling good about yourself. And you're looking for like-minded people to begin to associate yourself with. You now understand that you are not on this earth for the material things. However, you're a human being having a spiritual experience. And because of that, you can now confidently go out there and you can begin to draw from your universal bank account. It doesn't matter if the things that you put in your journal slightly resembles what someone else is doing. It's not yours. Trust me, when you get down to the blueprint, you will realize that the resemblance has nothing to do with you. So just go out there, be confident, forgive yourself for all the blame that you have encountered and harbor. Give yourself a lot of love. Begin to believe in yourself. Understand you are on a journey and that you will need somebody to go on that journey with. You might be like me, you might need a companion. Some of you probably just need a network, whatever it is. Open yourselves to the possibility because abundance is awaiting you. Again, I am Dr. Daphne Clark Hudson. I am your why and soul purpose consultant and coach. And honestly, I do look forward that I can be in a one-on-one conversation with you because I would love to be the person that guides you to your promised land of withdrawing from your universal bank account. Brothers and sisters, you deserve the best. I love you. I am your sister on the journey. And regardless of where you have been, that is water under the bridge. Now it is your time to do for you. And don't allow all the naysayers around you to talk you out of withdrawing from your universal bank account. Please begin to believe in yourself. You know you were born for greatness. And because you were born for greatness, I'm going to encourage you to stop settling for mediocrity because you and I, we were created for excellence. So we would like to honor the universe by acknowledging all of the wealth, all of the health, all of the love that it has to bestow on us. Again, it was my joy and honor and privilege to be part of this exquisite event. And I know that this is just the beginning for us all. We will be rising up on the wings of eagles because the minute we begin to draw from our universal bank account, we will be soaring. like eagles. Go out there and honor your possibilities. Thank you very much.
I am back on the scene, crispy and clean, iconic revenue, and we're talking about green. I am having way too much fun hosting BlackCEO's premier event for 2021, Black and Iconic. As I've said to you earlier, this is day 2 where we're talking about iconic revenue. But this is the second day of a 7-day event, a 7-day experience for Black entrepreneurs just like you. After today, I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you that we're going to have day 3 where it's going to be Black tie, Black power, and Black money. On day 4, we're going to have our authors and speakers showcase, because you've got a book inside of you. You've got a stage to crush in 2021, and we want to give you the tools to help you do exactly that. So make sure that you're tuned in to day 4 for our author and speaker showcase. And on day 5, there's going to be Black Girl Magic all day from beginning to end, from the morning to the afternoon, for our unstoppable Black woman. That's day 5. So make sure you tell your good girlfriend to be a part of the day 5 Unstoppable Black Women's event. And then after that, on day 6, it's going to be our Black CEO Mastermind. I encourage you to go over and get your virtual ticket, get your virtual seat, so that you can sit at the foot of the brightest and the best minds who have had impact around the world. Go over to BlackCEOVIP.com to get your virtual ticket, and it will tell you all about how to pour into your business and to pour into yourself by educating, communicating, and connecting to our Black CEO Mastermind. And then finally, on our 7th day, we're going to have our faith, focus, and flow. Y'all already know what that's all about, because you are talented, gifted, and you are anointed and appointed for such a time as this. Once again, my friends, my name is Robert Antoinette, and I hope that you continue to stay here with us on day 2, where we're talking about iconic revenue. Tell a friend, get on in, and make sure that you buy Black.
My name is Jeffrey Taylor. As a financial strategist, I earn a living by utilizing non-traditional life insurance, annuities, and other powerful solution-based tools to teach people in our community how to protect their money from losses, avoid running out of money, and avoiding financial ruin. Is learning how to protect your money from losses important to you? Is learning how to avoid running out of money important to you? Is learning how to avoid financial ruin important to you? If so, I'm glad that you are allowing me to share my I Have a Dream, Yes We Can presentation. Yes, I would tell you that I have the greatest career in the world. I have deep passion as I assist money-savvy persons like yourself how to be smarter with their money. I've learned that the financial problem that people believe that they have is not the problem at all. The only problem that we have is a lack of knowledge. And when we learn how to be smarter, we can overcome any and every financial challenge. Let me give you an example of what I mean. I get the phone call when someone is about to retire and they're now taking retirement a lot more seriously. They've run the numbers, they've evaluated their budget and their post unemployment income, and now they're beginning to see that they didn't save enough. Now they're beginning to see the impact that taxes are going to have on that income that they saved up. And they're deeply concerned about running out of money because they can clearly see that it's only going to take 4 to 7 years before that happens. Or get a phone call from the person, maybe the single mom who's earning a 6-figure income, working her job in the height of her career. And she's thinking to herself, how am I going to send my children to private secondary school and save for college without going broke, right? And she says to me, Jeff, I run the numbers. I can afford a portion of it, but not all of it. And I know there's a smarter way to look at this situation. And I love when they say that to me. Or I get a call from the dad, right? The dad's earning a great living. And he was deeply concerned when his children went off to college, and he did not want them to be loaded up with debt after they graduated. And he realized that if he could help them do that, that would give them a head start in their professional earning lives as adults. So he was committed to that. But he really hadn't paid attention to the numbers. He was just signing for Parent Plus loans, right? Hey, I'm going to support my kids. I'm down for the cause. I'm going to be there for them. I'm going to make sure that burden is not on their neck when they graduate. But he didn't run the numbers completely as he should have. And now that all of his kids have graduated, the bill is due. And he's running the numbers and he's thinking to himself, oh goodness, I didn't realize that college would be this expensive. And how am I going to be able to help pay for this or carry this debt and be able to retire comfortably? Or I'll get a phone call from the person who's a avid saver, right? They've done all the right things. They've accumulated some assets, but they are unexpectedly being offered a severance, some form of early buyout. And here we go again. They're thinking to themselves when they call me, the question that they're asking me is, how am I going to make sure that I don't run out of money? And what happens if there's a correction and I lose money? How is that going to impact me, especially when I don't know when I'm going to be able to acquire another position where I'm earning at least close or more than what I'm earning now? And then the last person who typically calls me, this is the person that calls me after they get the first tuition bill. Their student had, all the right grades. They had all the right activities. They did all the right clubs and organizations. But the school that their student really loves is still asking for $10,000 a year, where they've had some of it saved. But they're looking at educating their 3 children and they're asking themselves, how are we going to be able to help our first child without running out of money when our second child comes? Because they just weren't prepared, because they thought, just like when they went to college, that loans are provided and you can just apply for financial aid. They found out it doesn't work that way, that the rules have changed dramatically. And parents today, if they really want to see their children complete college, they need to have a plan to pay, and that they should expect to pay somewhere between 35 to 65% of the bill, because in today's financial aid world, the rules have dramatically changed. So as I get these various phone calls, one of the things I get really excited and I look forward to taking these challenging calls is the fact that over the past 33 years, with the mistakes that I've made myself, I've been able to assemble a team of millionaires who have been able to coach me through various strategies on solving these problems proactively and reactively. And so I've developed this system that I call the 4 ways to protect your money from losses, and how to avoid running out of money, and the steps that you need to take to avoid financial ruin. So in my weekly class, we deal with a topic relating to this subject matter. We take 30 minutes and we walk step by step through a recent case study where we show a problem and then how it was solved. Let me give you a couple of examples of what I'm talking about. For example, are you familiar with a strategy called annual reset? When you look that up, you're going to get a variety of different answers. In the sense that I teach it is, how do you grow money without losing money when there is a change in the economy? Let me say that again. How do you grow your money and not have to worry about losing money when there is an economic change? Well, what annual reset does, it participates in the gains of an index without participating in its losses. Now, this is a very unique idea. It's not new anymore. It came out in the mid-90s. But as I interview various families and individuals and professionals, I'm learning that this is an uncommon tool and strategy in our community, annual reset. Another strategy that I teach is called avoiding your negative wealth transfers. What is a wealth transfer? Simply, wealth transfers are dollars that we are paying out that we could otherwise be paying to ourselves. If we look at the book, one of the books that I teach from, which is called The Banker's Code by George Anton, he talks about the fact that we give away about 65% of our income to taxes and finance charges. So if we were to take our pay stub and we looked at our ledger of how we pay our bills, and if we looked at the bills that we pay and the interest charges that we have, we would find that we are spending a substantial amount of money in these negative wealth transfers that can be reversed. Just to give you an even greater insight to what I'm talking about, if you look at a family who earns $100,000 a year or more, so after 5 years, they've made $500,000, they're thinking to themselves, where is the money? Why can't we seem to be getting ahead? It's because your negative wealth transfers are eating up all of your money, or a substantial portion of your money. So the strategies that we teach, we want to look at what are the negative wealth transfers that you have, and how do we reverse that and put that money back into your pocket. And I'm running out of time here, so let me close out on this last one called the arbitrage. I love this one. Every time we put money in the bank, the bank in turn takes that money and reinvests it, sometimes up to 10 times for every $1 that you put in. They in turn make double-digit profits often, and they keep 99% of that money to themselves. Let me say that again. They keep 99% of our deposits. They make a profit and keep that money to themselves. That is called an arbitrage. Well, can't we do the same thing? Can't we create an arbitrage of our own and learn how to make a profit from our own debt Can we learn how to turn our money over several times while still being able to use it? And while still using it, you absolutely can. The same strategies that the banks are using in principle, you can design yourself by learning how to create your own arbitrage. My goodness, we have just had a good time. I had a really good time sharing my I Have a Dream, Yes We Can presentation. I just want to let you know that the problem that you think is the problem is not the problem from a financial perspective. The only problem that you have is a lack of knowledge. And when you understand that with knowledge, you can overcome that problem and become smarter than the problem, you can reverse that problem and begin to put wealth in your pocket rather than having wealth taken away from you. I would love to have a conversation with you about protecting your money from losses, avoiding running out of money, and avoiding financial ruin. I would love for you to visit me at neverlosemoneystrategy.com, and you will be able to watch a brief video, and then we will send you, after you register, opportunities where you can participate in our classes complimentary. I'm looking forward to seeing you and getting to know you and sharing this incredible journey we're on, where we're protecting our families and our community from losses and avoiding running out of money and avoiding financial ruin. Be blessed.
Yo, people, what is up? My name is John Lawson. I'm a business coach, and I got something to share with you. And the title's pretty provocative, I'm sure. Why your ish isn't selling and what you can do about it today. You know what the ish is, right? Good. Okay. So, like I said, I'm John Lawson. I am the CEO of Pro Speaker Funnels. I deal with a lot of business coaching around people that are creating courses or are coaches. And I've done a lot with those kinds of folks and helping them get clarity, and then of course making more sales and building websites for them. So all of that to say is that I've been able to deal with hundreds of people that are just like yourself, trying to get to that 6, 7, 8-figure mark at selling your courses, your training, your coaching, your consulting, your book, being on stage and speaking, and all of that. And not only have I done that with them, I've also done it for myself. I've been a speaker for the last 10 years. I've spoken all across the country and all around the world. I've been to more than 13 countries. I don't know how many cities, I mean, hundreds of cities. Every year I was doing a lot of travel. I was a Delta Platinum, and one year I was even a Diamond, which was last year, and then, or not last year, 2019. And then of course, COVID happened. So I've really had a lot of access to this world. And so what I'm going to give you today is going to move rather rapidly because we got a lot to cover and very little time. So hold on, we're about to go fast. There are 5 basic reasons why your stuff is not selling. The reasons why are very simple. Number 1, people have not taken the time to identify what the customer wants. Number 2, not validating your offer. Number 3, not ensuring that there is actually enough demand for what it is and what service you are providing. Number 4, not enough traffic. You might have a great product and not enough people have seen it to really know that you're there, and that's why you're not selling. And then finally, and one that we're going to go deep in, is that it's not priced properly. Okay, so let's just cover these 5. So first, like I said, not identifying what the customer wants. First thing you got to do, if you already have a list of people, then you want to find out what they want, not what you think they need, right? So how do you do that? You can send out a survey. And what do I mean by that? Let me just tell you, when you see these commercials today for weight loss, because it's January, February, and every time in the beginning of the year, people make their New Year's resolution to lose weight, right? So that is the opportune time for all the weight loss products. If you notice, when you watch the commercials are not about the weight losing. It's about the after result of your life after you have lost the weight. They don't sit there and say, well, you need to have food that's not inflammatory so it doesn't create belly fat, blah, 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 blah. And, we want your blood pressure to go down and your heart rate is too high because you're too fat. This is not what people want. Nobody wants to diet. They don't want to diet. They want the result of being slim. And so that is what the program focuses on. So you got to stop talking about here's what people need and really find out what the result that they want. And you can do that by sending out surveys. You can ask questions in your blog posts and get people to respond. Post questions in groups or LinkedIn. I like LinkedIn because it's a business, perspective. So people are a little bit more engaged than they might be in social media when it comes to a business question, but also in your other social media platforms like the Facebooks and the Twitters and the even YouTube, making videos about it. All right. So post questions is a good way to find out what people want. And then, of course, get some of your customers on the phone. If people have gone through your program, why don't you get them on the phone and ask them, what did you like? What could be better? What was it that you were looking for when you bought the program? All of this will be good marketing fodder for you to be able to use to help market your course better. Okay. Number 2, not validating your offer. Now, people do this all the time. You write the book before you even know if anybody wants the book. You've started your course and spent, 25 weeks creating a course that nobody wants. So idea value validation is extremely important. A simple way to do that is just to create a pre-sale page. Sounds simple? Absolutely. It's easy to create a pre-sale page, and you put that pre-sale page to work before you do any other work that you are going to do for your course or your training or your coaching, so that it's going to pay off. So it's really just testing the waters before you create by doing the pre-sale page, and you do the pre-sale page while you're creating the content. All right. And it really sets you up for the launch pad. So it's, pre-sale, launch, and then it's launch date. Number 3, not enough demand. And here's the thing, you think everybody wants it or you think everybody is looking for it, but have you went out and found out if there is enough demand for a product like yours? Probably not, right? Well, here's some good places to estimate demand. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, if it's something that that your avatar falls into a demographic, you can go to the BLS.gov site and find all kinds of demographics. And that's a really, really resourceful tool. And a lot of people don't know about it, but go there and it can give you demographic information. And I mentioned your avatar. You've got to really understand that avatar. Make sure you take the time to do that exercise and understand who our customer is. All right. Another great place I go is Amazon, and I look in the books category. If there are a lot of books on your topic, guess what? That means there is a whole lot of audience and demand for that information. And then you go and you look at the top selling books. How do I know the top selling books? Well, they could be on the top seller list, but that's not the one I want, because all of you guys know it's easy to get an Amazon #1 bestseller. It's stupid simple. It usually happens on day one, right? If you got, I think maybe 50 books on a single day, you'll get top seller for that book. But at any rate, what you want to look at are books with the most reviews. And then start going through those reviews and seeing what customers say. You can find a whole lot about the customer, where we're talking about before, what the customer wants. You can find that information out inside of Amazon, just looking through all of the reviews on the books that are on your topic. It's like, that's a ninja tactic that I teach people all the time. All right. Of course, like we said before, surveying your customers, and then similar to Amazon books, start looking for groups on that topic on Facebook. If there are groups and multiple groups, and the groups have thousands of people, that's another way to estimate that there is demand for what you are selling. Okay. Number 4, not enough traffic. This is huge, man. This is huge. I know people, I will talk to them and I'll say, well, how many people are on your list? And they're like 300 people. And I'm like, okay, well, out of that 300 people, maybe you'll get 5% of those people. Just because they're on your list doesn't mean they're going to buy from you. So maybe you'll get 5% of those people to buy, especially if you're not doing real good, you don't have a good marketing strategy, or you have not taken that list and grown the need. So a lot of us just don't have a big enough list. It's too small to really launch a good product for it. All right. The second thing with traffic is not enough people saw your offer. So I'll have somebody that will spend, I spent $100 on Facebook ads. And I'm like, really? How long did you run them for? Well, 2 days. I did $50 a day, and that never worked. I'm like, well, you didn't let it work. Not enough people saw the offer. I mean, how many people did? Well, it went to 1,000 people. I'm like, yes, but that's not a lot of people, especially when you're talking about Facebook that has, billions of people. So, and the world has 7 billion people in it. So, I mean, it's like, we haven't even tapped in to your audience. And if you only ran an ad for a couple of days, the Facebook algorithm and the AI has not even kicked in yet. You haven't even taught Facebook enough. It doesn't have enough data coming in to understand whether or not, these people are good to show the ad to. It's still in learning phase. And recently they turned that on Facebook, where you know whether it's in learning phase or not. And you will recognize that oftentimes it takes 3 days at least to get out of learning phase, So that's the thing. Another thing is you're targeting the wrong keywords if you're running ads, or if you're, doing SEO. Maybe you're not doing or digging deep enough into how people find you to understand what it is they're looking for, so that you can provide them what they are looking for. And I'll give you an example. I used to sell, and I've been selling online since, 2001. So it's been 20 years for me when I first started my online business. And I started my business on eBay. And one of the first things we sold were bandanas. And this is back in like 2003, 2004 era. And at that time, I bought the bandanas because in hip hop, bandanas were hot, a lot of the rappers were wearing it, and it was, symbolism of colors and all that. And so it was like, oh, we could sell some bandanas. And I was going to sell bandanas to, quote, my people. Well, the deal was I put it on a global, sourcing site like eBay, and I was getting people from all over the country and around the world. And then those people started asking me the question, and I thought it was the stupidest question ever, was how to fold a bandana like Tupac. I'm like, Tupac didn't make up that. Everybody knows how to do that, at least where I live, and I just thought it was the dumbest question, but I used to get it over and over and over, so much, in fact, that, like I said, this is when my business was just getting started. I was the customer support agent. So I made a video that showed them how to fold a bandana like Tupac, right? And I put this video on YouTube, and every time people would ask me, I would just forward the link to the YouTube video. Well, lo and behold, if you went to that video today, it's got over 300,000 views. That video went completely viral. Even my competitors were embedding it on their sites. That's how much people wanted to know this. So it wasn't until I understood what my customer wanted, and then I made what they wanted, and that video ended up selling tens of thousands of products for us. Not tens of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of products from a video that had over 300,000 views. It's an amazing thing, but it's about listening to what your customer wants and then using that to get more traffic. So I made the video got me more traffic, the traffic got me more sales. All right. And I started targeting different keywords based on the people that would land on that video. All right. And then, of course, number 5, which is, I know this is hard for you to get, but, maybe your offer sucks. And that happens a whole lot. That's why we do testing. That's the purpose of testing, because we want to know, does the offer, really resonate with people, or does it suck? And it can suck. Absolutely. I've seen a lot of sucky ads, a lot of sucky offers. So that's a possibility. And then number 5, it's not the right price. And this is a little fuzzy for you, but I'll go through it all. Okay. When is pricing too low a bad thing? All right. When is pricing, and a lot of people's products are priced too low. And I'm going to tell you some of the psychology behind that and why it is not necessarily a great thing to have a very low price product. For one, it makes you lazy on your marketing. So you think that it's easy to sell a few dollars, it's easy to sell a $3 item than a $30 item. You get lazy on your marketing because now all you're really, competing on is price. And the only lever you have to pull is pricing when it comes to your marketing. Number 2, it limits your ability to advertise. Look, part of your budget for how you price a product has to be for the marketing of the product. If you can't afford to market a product, then your price is way too low. You have to have a product pricing that has marketing inside of that budget. 10 to 15% of your budget needs to go back in to your company as marketing. That's just simple and plain, right? That's how you grow a business. If you don't have marketing budget, your business is not going to grow. And every time you sell, a portion of that needs to go back into selling more. Number 3, it degrades your customer's perceived value. And I hear people talk to me now. I got people that have prices that are too high. And then I'm like, well, you probably need to lower that price. Well, I don't want to degrade my you should see my face because I'm making the face. Well, I don't want to degrade my brand. I'm like, girl, you ain't got no damn brand. You ain't sold nothing to nobody. How can you degrade when you ain't got nothing? So we need to get the brand up there first, and then we can worry about pricing to degrade your brand. So anyway, it's funny, right? Number 4, online training is just as valuable as in-person training, right? Don't decrease your offer pricing because you think, well, it's online and nobody wants to pay as much for online. That's a bunch of crap, right? That is a bunch of crap. If that were the case, then books would not be what they are, right? As valuable as they are. Now, I've seen people sell books for $1,000. And why can you sell a book for $1,000? Because the transformation that you will get out of that book is more than the price of the cover for the book. So don't get into this, just because it's online, I can't sell it at the same price that I did when I was doing, speeches and on stage. That's not true. That pricing could be the exact same. Okay. I did mention this earlier. It's a race to the bottom if you're dealing with prices. If your niche is, pretty competitive, then if you're pricing it and then the next person sees your price and the next person sees your price, it's a race to the bottom. So you don't want to be in that mode either. Number 6, it takes just as much effort to sell a course at $10 as it does to sell a course at $1,000. I don't care. It's the same amount of effort. So don't think just because the lower pricing is going to make it easier for you to make the sale. Not necessarily, not necessarily. So don't underprice based on that. Number 7, a low price makes it difficult to attract partners. So when you come to me and say, hey, I give, 20% of every sale. And I'm like, well, how much is your product? And you say $10. And I'm really not going to do a lot of work for $2 to help you or to help me. I could be doing things with other people, right? So that's another reason why pricing too low can be bad. Lower prices attract low quality customers. Man, I cannot tell you how important that little bullet point is. I've done $500 events. I've done $5,000 events. I can have the exact same thing going and teaching in both of those events and literally give the $500 audience all of these nice bonuses and stuff and stack it all the way to the top, right? And literally the amount of complaints I get from the $500 audience versus the $5,000 audience are amazing, because the deal is when you invest $5,000 on a solution, you automatically are invested into getting your money back. Let me say that again. When people invest high amounts of dollars with you, they automatically are invested in the result in the amount that they put in. So $500 people will look for $500 results and they'll complain because it's a low end. $5,000 people are going to be way more apt to actually follow through. Just simple and plain, this is what I've learned. So now, when are good times to lower your prices? 1, during the pre-launch. That's the purpose of doing the pre-launch. So now you want to start at a low price. Let's do the pre-launch, put the pre-launch price in there, and then we increase the price on certain date. And that gives us a whole lot of marketing room to get people in for the lower price. But we also are establishing, like we said, the brand affinity at the higher price, right? So you do that. And number 2, it says when you have a deadline and you increase the price or decrease the price just before the deadline, that's another great thing, because you get ready to move it up on price. We're about to move it up in price. Grab it right now at this lower price. So that's a great time. And of course, when you discount it, if you're going to discount it to get more customers, do that as a last resort. Don't always be discounting. You ever go into a store and everything's on sale, then nothing's on sale. So you can't always discount. All right. Now, here's a tool I've got for you today to help you with that pricing and the planning and the strategy. All right. You go to CourseCalculator.com. It's a free strategy tool. It's absolutely amazing. It's got the funnels in here for the pre-launch, the launch, and all that. And it'll show you, if you price this at this price, what your profits are going to be, right? So you can know your profits, you can project your sales without all the hard math that it needs. So go over there, grab the free course calculator. It's CourseCalculator.com. My name again is John Lawson, and I appreciate your time. I'm out of here for now. Peace.
Good day, everyone. I am Lashery Rogers, your CEO sister, and today promises to be one of the best days of your life. Why? Because today you get the opportunity to reset, refocus, and engage, and for some, re-engage the process of understanding how money is made easily. Well, maybe not so easily, because like all things worth having, we have to put some work into it. We have to nurture the process, cultivate it, so we can get the results that we're looking for. And I am going to show you how understanding your purpose, who you were called and meant to be, can position you to obtaining wealth. Simple, not so simple, we will determine that. So with that said, my topic today is from purpose to profit. Again, from purpose to profit. So let's reset the room and allow me again to reintroduce myself. I am Lawson Rogers, affectionately known as CEO Sister, and today I stand before you, purpose-driven, loving life, and killing the game. I am a successful business owner, a CEO, an investor, nonprofit leader, business strategist, a philanthropist, and my greatest accomplishment of them all, I'm a mom. So let me give you some background about myself. Wasn't always a CEO, wasn't always this confident, I was not raised in money or having money. My background, born and raised in public housing, became a single teenage mom at the age of 17. I was a welfare recipient, fell into an abusive relationship, experienced temporary homeless, low self-esteem, and one challenge after another. And with that, I will say that there was a shift that came in my life. It wasn't an immediate shift. It wasn't a shift that I can just say that, boom, things just changed drastically, but there was a shift. There was a moment where I had to sit and process and say, what was it that I wanted to do with my life? Again, I was a mom, really trying to make things work for myself and my child. So one of the first things that I can say, and I give everything that I have and everything that I do and all that I've become to this, but I came to know God and came to know and understand who God was in my life. The second step that I took was educating myself, staying in school. That was one of the key elements of acquiring a success for myself. I continue to work and to find opportunities to shift myself from one level to the next level. One of the things that I often remember was that job that I received, and I took myself to the welfare office, as what they would call it, where I lived, and took myself off of welfare, and and really tried to develop a lifestyle of self-sustainability for myself. So I say this because the pivotal thing, and I'll talk more about that when I speak on purpose, was actually just being determined. And wanting to change my life and refusing to stop until I had it all figured out. And do we get it all figured out all at one time? No, I can't say that was, that's not my testimony, but my goal was to stick it out until I can put the pieces together, until I can figure it out. So let's talk about purpose. What is purpose? In the words of Miles Monroe, purpose is when you know and understand what you have been born to accomplish. Again, purpose is when you know and understand what you have been born to accomplish. Another founder and CEO of Life Hack Quotes says it this way: without even knowing what your life's purpose is, no matter how hard you work, it will be useless. If you know the right path for you, you might not even have to work hard to get the desired results that you obtain. So yes, purpose, understanding who you are, understanding what you were born to accomplish. I am a firm believer that is the key to success in life. I can't say that I had a clear and defined understanding of what purpose meant for myself at that particular time in my life. I can't say that I even understood the concept of how positioning myself and understanding purpose and understanding self-awareness and understanding my goals and accomplishments was even something that was even a part of the journey at that particular time. I can say that that's not my story. And I will say that I hit so many walls. My journey was constantly hitting walls, trying to figure these things out. And I have all the bumps and bruises to prove that. But I will also say that I begin to motivate myself and I begin to move and move myself into a position of where I begin to follow certain steps that I will share with you today. And one of those steps, the first part of my journey, and I mentioned this earlier, the first part of my journey was self-awareness. And again, I was not familiar with all the terminologies that I'm using today then, but I knew that there had to be a point and within myself where I had to identify, one, who I was, where I was, and where I was going. And I can remember at this point in time in my life that I created a list. And what I did was I created the list based on where I was. I was this teenage mom. I was, dealing with some elements of homelessness. I was, in public housing. And I began to research these things. And I began to research the statistics of what these things said about what my outcome would be being in this particular position. And I remember writing down what research said, what statistics said. Statistics says, being raised without a dad, and I was raised without my dad. These are the different things that you will become a teenage parent. You will become. So I began to study those things and purposed in my mind that I will take each one of these statistics that what society says I am set up to be and begin to work my way and work against it. So I began to gain a greater understanding and discovering who I was and understanding, which drove me closer to understanding my purpose, understanding the difference between purpose and passion. So even in that process of understanding and again, having that relationship with God and allowing that process as well to continue to push me further into, who I am today and who I will continue to be as I continue to grow and build. But understanding the difference between purpose and passion. And I think that's key to really, really being able to identify what your purpose is, because we can become so passionate about the things that we love and the things that we do and the things that make us happy. But what I found is that passion is the very thing that would help you to develop and understand what your purpose is. Initially, being passionate, I love to serve people. I love to help the homeless and, all of these different, and, I was a school teacher and I would help my students. And I found that in that process, I became very tired, very overwhelmed, stressed out, all in doing good. It's all in doing good. But I found that there was just some different elements of just that passion, that there was just something more that I had to get to, because I didn't believe that we should become tired or become weary in doing good. So I knew that there was something that I was missing. So again, another step that I took in understanding and discovering my purpose was I started to revisit my past. And I know we hear this cliche, there's purpose in pain and there's purpose in your, and we've made it such a cliche, but I really honestly believe that there is so much in your pain, in what you've experienced in life, your struggles, your challenges. I believe that is so much of helping us to identify our purpose is found right there in those struggles, in those challenges, in those things that we had to overcome, those things that almost broke us down, those things that, that did tear us down, that did help put us in a position where we lost confidence, we lost self-esteem, all of those things and all of those elements. But I believe as we revisit those moments, as we go back, as we examine getting, the process of being in it, how did we get out of it? What did we learn from it? Understanding what did it do for us as an individual? How did it allow us to move on to the next place? And again, I think all those re-examining that process will then again, in turn, help us to peel back the layers of understanding who we are in God, one, but also who we are as that business person, who we are as an entrepreneur, who we are as a mom, who we are as a person as a whole, as an individual. So that was one of the steps. So one of the steps, again, self-awareness, step one for me, discovering who I was, really taking ownership of wanting to be accountable for my next steps, wanting to be accountable for where I was and where I wanted to go. Second part, understanding the difference between passion and purpose, really wanting to have a clear definition of the two and making sure we're not taking the two and making it one, because they're not the same. Next, visiting my past, even childhood experiences. And I wanted to just kind of chime in on that for a little bit. I just remember myself as a child, and I just thought that was an excellent process. And revisiting some of my childhood passions, some of the things I did in my childhood, some of the games I played. I can remember as a child creating lemonade stands, all this in public housing. I had a lemonade stand, I had a popcorn stand. I would create rides and pull with crates and pull children around. I was an entrepreneur. I would have them, I would charge 25 cents, 10 cents. But again, as I revisited that part of my life, it brought me back to a place where, you know what, I was walking in purpose, or even just walking in passion at that particular time of my life, even as a child. So again, revisiting your childhood, understanding your struggles, but also identifying your gifts and your talents. And again, I know when we talk about gifts, we talk about talents, we talk about passion, we talk about purpose. We have a tendency, sometimes it can cause a lot of confusion. And again, this is my belief as it pertains to purpose, passion. So again, I believe that passion, again, it's more broad, whereas purpose becomes more narrow. It's more refined. It helps you to really focus in on what it is that you are purposed to do. So when it comes to gifts and talents, I believe that gifts and talents are, we develop our gifts and talents to support, to complement our purpose. And I say that in the sense of, I'm a teacher, and I'll talk more about my purpose and what I have identified my purpose to be. But as a teacher, I find that my teaching abilities, I find that, my compassion, servanthood of just being an administrative, I found all of these to be very complementary when it came to serving and operating in my full purpose, which in turn led me to be the successful business person that I am today. So now that we have some sort of idea of how discovering our purpose and making an effort to discovering our purpose, and just some of the steps that I took as an individual to discovering my purpose, let me explain now to you how we're moving now from purpose to profit. Now, how do we go from understanding that? It took me some time, so I don't want to sit and act like I had it all together. And once I got this, it just happened, and I fell into this great, just making money. And no, that's not the case. And again, it takes time. And I know I said at the beginning, we can make some easy money, but again, nothing comes easy without having to work at it, without having to understand it and understand you in the process. So I was passionate. I was educated, I was motivated, but as I mentioned before, I was tired, I was overwhelmed, I was stressed out, and I was still broke. But once again, I had to learn how to walk into my purpose. And as I began to walk into my purpose, as I began to understand, things became clearer. And I began to take the following steps to help me to align myself up this way, which helped me to acquire the success in the profit that we also talk about, the wealth that we're talking about. So one of the things that I discovered when I was able to discover my purpose, one of the things that I found was alignment came. Purpose brings alignment. And I say that, one, I know I haven't spoke about it, but I started a school. And I know I mentioned my talents and my gifts as far as being a teacher, but I started a school, and in starting a school, well, let me go back. Let me go back. I started as a teacher, a classroom teacher. And that was when, honestly, that I was, because I never thought of myself as a teacher. I went to college. I went to college to become a nurse. I just know I was going to be this nurse, and that did not happen. So, and through my journey of, working and having jobs, and I just wasn't happy or satisfied. And someone just came to me and said, have you ever thought about teaching? And I'm like, no, never, I don't even know if I like kids like that, so, but when life happens, I can remember being pushed, and that push, I went and I explored the opportunity of becoming a teacher. And I have to honestly say that was a part of my life where I really was, I focused on becoming and understanding at that point that there was something in this that I believe that was going to take my life to the next level. And it was at that moment, at that time, that purpose and passion and everything just started, those words started hitting me left and right. And I discovered my purpose and being a teacher. And that's through that process of understanding and serving the community and things of that sort. Again, started out in passion, being very passionate, being very busy, being very hands-on, to moving into the area of finding and discovering that purpose. And once I found that purpose, that's when alignment started. So I went from being a classroom teacher to actually starting and opening my own school with no money. When I say no money, really no money, just really just stepping out on faith, and being hands-on with the process, and just really starting this school from one small building to now owning a full campus, which again, alignment. I own the full campus. We have a school on our campus. And then the next step of owning that, now a nonprofit that we now also educate the community, and continuing in the process of operating in my purpose, which now in turns have allowed me to now not only operate in purpose, not only be excited about what I'm doing, but I'm also generating wealth in the process. So from that point of developing a school, now real estate, entered into real estate, where purchasing homes to support families, to support moms with children. So again, acquiring wealth, but still operating in my purpose, still following, seeing the alignment, teaching these individuals, again, still being a teacher. So again, just kind of following the steps of understanding that I'm operating in my purpose, but I'm allowing what God has shown me to be, who I am, to generate wealth as well. Now moving into becoming a developer, where I will continue to now in this process, building homes for the same individuals in the community, so I can continue the process of teaching, continue the process of serving, continue the process of changing lives. So alignment, I believe that purpose brings alignment. My second point, purpose produces money-making ideas. When you're operating in your purpose, I firmly believe you generate ideas. It helps you to clearly set goals, clearly move and move from the next level to the next. I call it the scaffolding process. As you continue to build, as you continue to grow, and as you continue to understand you, and that's the point, understanding you and understanding who you are and what you are called to be. I believe ideas come. And that's what, different ideas. And it may not always be, I found that because of my passion, because of my talents, I have so many different ideas. But with purpose, you will be so aligned, and you will know, okay, which ideas that you would need to pull that's created for you. And then some that you just may need to delegate to others to support, or even help and support someone else's visions, help and support the community in other ways. But staying in alignment will just really help you to focus on what is necessary for you to get what you need in the process of becoming successful. The third point, purpose will help you to become a problem solver. You will find that in your purpose and making money, solving problems is where wealth happens. If we think about most of the wealthiest people around the world, however they determined how they discovered their purpose, but most wealthy people, they found a problem and they solved it. They may have sold however the process went, but they found a problem and they solved it. And I believe when we find purpose and when we identify who we are and what we are, we will begin to come across problems that we are initially created to solve. And in solving those problems, if we stay in alignment, if we understand our purpose, and if we understand our gifts and talents, we can begin to operate in the sense of solving these problems, but also providing a source of generating wealth for ourselves and for our family. And the last point that I realized in discovering my purpose makes you valuable. It makes you valuable in the sense of, again, knowing yourself, staying, continuing to build. And in building, I mean educating yourself. Once you find out what your purpose is, continue to grow in that. Continue to learn more about what it is that God has created you to be. Continue to build in that area. Continue to learn more and understand. And again, as you continue to build, as you continue to grow, as you continue to educate yourselves in these areas, you will find that the ideas come. You will find that the problems that you are called to solve, you will find that the strategies to put together to help solve these problems, again, to take you to a place of becoming successful. So again, alignment. Purpose brings alignment. Purpose produces money-making ideas. Purpose will help you to become a problem solver, where you will be solving problems that would help you to generate wealth. And last, purpose makes you valuable. So I'm going to close out on this note. And I have a quote that I'm going to share from Napoleon Hill, which says, "There is one quality that one must possess to win, and that is definiteness of purpose." Okay, understanding your purpose. You want to win in this game, you want to be successful, you want to generate wealth. Start by identifying your purpose. Start by understanding who you are, what you are called to be, what you were put here on this earth to do. And I believe in that process, in that discovery process, that you in turn will understand and begin to generate the wealth that you are so looking to acquire. I do not believe that our purpose in life changes. I hear so often that, as we grow, it changes. I personally don't believe it changes. However, I do believe that the scope of our purpose expands. I say that to say I went from being a classroom teacher to a school developer to now, educating in the community, to now being able to develop real estate to, again, serve the community in a sense of helping to change lives and helping others to find their purpose. So I don't necessarily feel that my purpose of being one to help change and help individuals develop purposeful lifestyles. I just feel that I'm noticing that the purpose, the scope of things are expanding, is changing. My heart still is in the same place. I'm still excited about what I'm doing, very excited. But I found that even in my excitement and even in building and even in understanding purpose, it's growing. And I honestly believe that's the process of how wealth is generated, how wealth is, you understand who you are. The key to wealth is discovering your purpose, who you are, why you are here. And you will find once you have done that, you will look for that alignment, identify those problems, create those problems, those strategies and solving those problems, and you will find that you will become much more valuable and increasing your financial value as well. You will find once you discover your purpose, you will no longer have to chase money, but money will find you. Again, Lashri Rogers, CEO Sister, thank you and God bless.
Hi, my name is Malcolm Smith, and I'm the CEO of The True You, a training and development company. I'm honored to be part of this BlackCEO Iconic event, and I want to just tell you a little bit about myself before I jump into what I'm going to talk to you about. I created The True You as a result of me growing up. I grew up in the South as a young Black kid in predominantly white neighborhoods, so I, for the most part, didn't fit in there. I tried really hard, but I just didn't fit in. When we moved to a predominantly Black neighborhood, I didn't fit in there because it didn't sound right. Why do you talk like a white person? I heard all the time. So I was stuck and I didn't know who I was. In graduate school, I went to the Million Man March, and it was a godsend to me because it was there that I was around a ton of Black people, and however I was okay. But I also saw that no matter what I did, there was no right way to be Black. So whatever I did was what Black people did. So that freed me up just to discover what was important to me. And one of the things that was important to me was making a difference for people. And so my life has been about that. I've been a social worker, I'm a corporate trainer, and I give people tools that support them in achieving whatever goals they have. That's my purpose in life, is to empower people. The tool that I'm going to talk to you about is a tool that when I first heard about it, I saw it as a business tool, but within a few minutes of being finished and walking to my car, I realized this is a tool that can make a difference in the Black community in terms of how we interact with each other, how other people know and understand and interact with us. And this could be a game changer. So I train a ton of people in it in terms of how they can use it as a business. I'm blessed to have this opportunity to talk to you and share it with you. So I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to share my screen, and we will talk about the bank code. And so the name of my talk today is Why They Buy. We're going to unlock the secret, the science, and the system to supercharge your sales up to 300%. Now, before I lose you who are not in sales, I want you to listen to this, because you're actually in sales whether you're in business or not. You're in sales in your personal life. Maybe you're trying to sell someone on going on a date with you, or you're trying to sell your kids and cleaning the room. So think of it as influence every time I hear sales. And if sales is not where you are, this talk could be for you, because this is deeper than a business talk, but I'm going to be talking to my business people. So the first thing is that what I'm going to talk to you about is not rocket science, it's personality science. And I'm having a little issue with my PowerPoint here, but give me a minute, I will take care of it and we will get this going. Okay. It's not going to do it again. All right. So what I'm going to tell you is not rocket science, it's personality science. So you don't have to be a genius to know what I'm about to tell you, but it's going to be genius information that's coming to you. So the personality coding technology I'm going to talk to you about, it's taught around the world. But as I said, it's something that can make a difference in the Black community and for us as Black CEOs. So Robert Kiyosaki said that the ability to sell is the #1 skill in business, not the #2 or 3, but the #1. And the Salesforce.com group did a survey, and they found that of all the people in sales, 67% of those people were missing their quotas. And then they also found that 87% of them were not adequately prepared for the sales meetings or conversations that they were going to have. And of all the people in sales, of the people they were talking to, 66% of those people were turned off by the information that they were hearing. Now, in business and in sales, most of you have been told that sales is, well, you've probably heard that sales is a numbers game, and that in order to get more yeses, you need to get more nos. But that's a lie. In order to get more yeses, you need to get more yeses. So what I'm about to show you is a proven way to get yeses. This is 2021, and I call it the year of yes. 2020, we had some challenges, a lot of different no's in terms of we can't do business as normal. We can't travel. We can't interact with our patients, our customers, or families, whatever your organization is. I come from the hospital system, so you might hear me say patients every once in a while. But anyways, that was 2020. We're in 2021, the year of yes. This is a great time to learn this system and get more yeses to the products and services that you put your heart and time and money into these things. You believe in these things and you're passionate about them. You want people to know about them. So the secret is that sales is not a numbers game. Sales is a people's game. So if you're in business, then you're in the people game, and getting good with people is going to have you do incredibly well in sales. So the methodology that I spoke about and then I'm going to introduce you to is called the BANK system. And BANK is personality based, meaning that it's rooted in the 4 personality types that date back thousands of years. And I'll tell you about that in a moment. It is people focused. As I just said, sales is not a numbers game. It's a people game. So we're focused on people, and it's profit driven, because when people make money, then they can make a difference for other people. When good people make money, they make a difference for other people. So I'm going to share with you this language, and then at the end of this, I'll give you a way that you can get a personality assessment for yourself. It's a report that tells you all about yourself, and I'll share that with you at the end. Now, this is Sherry Tree. She's the lady who created the bank code that I'm going to talk to you about. And just briefly on her, she was in sales. She was not doing well. She took a lot of classes and got coaching, made about $72,000 after about 3 years of putting thousands of dollars to learn. It wasn't good enough. And long story short, she came up with this bank code. This bank code made her $500,000. She taught it to her team easily. They went out, she made millions of dollars, and so did they. It's a simple tool. I was hooked by it because I met her in April of 2019. And at the time, I wasn't in business. And a friend invited me to come hear her, and I didn't know why. But I quickly learned why it was that when people tried to sell me something, they either did really well or they crashed and burned. And with that knowledge, I was fascinated because I saw how that can make a difference in the world. And I wanted to do that, given that I'm somebody that makes a difference. So I took a coaching business that just existed on the internet and transformed it into my own training and development company. And now I train and coach people on this system so that they can use it and be successful in whatever it is that they're up to. Let me just go back briefly. If you notice, we've got Forbes on there, entrepreneur. She did so well that these companies stopped and looked at what was going on. Forbes just wrote an article that was the future of sales, and it's this bank code and the artificial intelligence is affiliated with it, and what's coming down the road. Google brought it in to train. It's recognized, it's valuable. Harvard brought her in to train in the business world. The University of California did. The symbol on the bottom in the middle is the UN code for the United Nations. They brought her in. So this is a no joke tool. San Francisco State University did a test to see, is this unique or is this just like any of those other assessments out there? And they wanted to know, does this predict buying behavior, which is what the claim is. And they found that yes, it does in fact predict buying behavior. And in fact, bank is the only methodology in the world that is scientifically proven to predict buying behavior in less than 90 seconds. So it may sound complicated. It's not. Albert Einstein said, any fool can complicate things. It takes a genius to simplify them. And that's what this tool does. I'm going to show it to you. First of all, let me just tell you briefly about the science. We didn't invent personality in science. It's been around for quite a while. This is Hippocrates. He's a Greek physician. He's the father of medicine. You may have heard of doctors taking the Hippocratic Oath. It's Hippocrates. This is the father of medicine, the man who came up with what is known as the 4 temperaments, and he used those in his medical practice. And he found that he could treat patients differently depending on what group they fell into. So if you fast forward to today, there are tons of personality assessments. There are some listed here that you may or may not have taken. DISC, Myers-Briggs, color code, there are a ton of them. And Sherry took some of these. We've probably all taken some of these, but the thing about those is they tell you about yourself, but they don't necessarily make you more money, don't get you more sales, don't have people say yes to you instead of no. And Sherry's like, this is a waste of my time. But that triggered something in her head to try and figure out how to make something like this make a difference for her. So what she found was these items were similar. Take DISC, for instance, that's D-I-S-C, and bank is B-A-N-K. If you put them together, they're the same, but they're completely different from the perspective of DISC or any of those others are looking at the psychology and why people do things. Whereas bank looks more at biology, which is the science of buying behavior. It doesn't matter if someone's an introvert or an extrovert. We want to get to what triggers a yes from them. So I'm going to show you how to crack the personality code. And as we say, take it to the bank, just to play on words. This is a cryptex. A cryptex was in the Da Vinci Code. It was Tom Hanks running around in that movie trying to figure out the secret of the Holy Grail. And this device is where the secret was. Now, if you take this device, you can see that there are digits there and they turn. So you put in a code. If you put in the wrong code, then inside there's a tiny vial of vinegar that if it gets cracked, it dissolves the piece of paper that has the secret and everything is lost. Now think about any kind of sales that you've been involved in. In sales, you either said something and you could see on the person's face that you weren't going to make that sale, or they're like, I'll call you back. I got to check with my spouse. And then they're like, this isn't the right time, or this isn't, we don't have the money for this. And you knew that it was something that you had said or done that actually cracked the vial of vinegar and dissolved that sale. It's part of sales. We've all done it. Now imagine if this person had a cryptex or this code and you could unlock it with the correct code and then roll out the scroll and find out what exactly that person, what to say that person to get a yes. So that's what the bank code is. So Tony Robbins said, let your prospect determine your presentation. So if you look at what I just said, if there are 4 personality types that science has shown already, then you should probably have 4 different sales presentations for the 4 ways that you need to approach a customer. But most of us only have one approach. So if you think about it, if it's 1 in 4, that means you only have a 25% chance of getting it right with the people that you're trying to sell to, which also means that you have a 3 in 4 chance of getting it wrong. That's 75% of the potential business that you're leaving on the table. The other thing is that you're spoon feeding your competition at a rate of 3 to 1, because if that person needs your product or service, they're going to go buy it from somebody else. But we want them to buy it from you. So the Shalley Group did a survey, and they found that only 18% of people were likely to buy from a salesperson who didn't match them in their personality type, versus if the personality types did match, it jumped to 82%. That's a huge jump. So when you apply bank and you're talking about increasing your chances of closing sales and jumping to 300%, I'm going to explain that in a moment. What you get to do is you get to match your personality type. You don't match your personality type, but you can adjust your approach. You're not going to change yourself, but you can adjust your approach when you're talking to them. So there's 4 levels: blueprint, action, nurturing, and knowledge. And I want you to think about a conversation that you may have with somebody. If you're talking in English, they know you're talking in English, and it's easy. So if we were all blueprint and we were talking blueprint to each other, you're most likely going to get a yes. But again, if you go with the whole idea of language with an action, let's say that the action is someone who speaks Spanish. If they speak Spanish and you're talking in English, it's just going to go right over their head. They're not going to understand you. They're probably going to be planning what they're doing for dinner next. They can't wait to get out of there. But if you start speaking Spanish to them, hola, me llamo Malcolm, y tengo una cosa muy importante for you, then you're talking their language. You're more likely to get that yes from them because they say, hey, this person recognizes me. Same thing with nurturing. Once you get the nurturing, you speak to them, you gather them, and the same thing with knowledge. Once you talk to them, you start to capture them. So I'm talking quick because I want to get you into the system, and here we are. System stands for save yourself time, energy, and money. If you know what a person's personality code is, then you should be able to get more of a yes. It would be kind of foolish to talk to somebody in the wrong code if you know what their code is. So I'm going to talk to you about these codes briefly, just so you get a sense of them. The B stands for blueprint. Blue is a cool color. So these people, they have particular expectations. If you have a blueprint buyer, their expectation is that they want to avoid risk. They're risk averse. They also expect that you should be early to things. So for them, 10 minutes early is considered on time. On time is late, and late, forget about it. The next group are the actions. It's red hot. These are people who they like the VIP treatment, the finer things in life. A lot of times they're the movers and the shakers and the millionaire makers. They're the ones that are often your entrepreneurs, and they appreciate a good opportunity. In some ways, they're the opposite of the blueprint in that the blueprints live inside the box. As you can see, there's a rocket ship here. The actions live outside the box. They don't go by the rules. As a matter of fact, they kind of can't stand rules. It's kind of a bad word with them. Their commodity that they trade in is lifestyle. They make buying decisions based on how it's going to improve their lifestyle. Nurturing is the next group. As you can see, this color is yellow. Yellow is a loving, heart of gold kind of color. These people love people. They're about community. If the blueprints are inside the box and actions are inside the box, nurturing's recycling the box. They're probably going to take that box that they use, they're going to put some toys in it, gift wrap it, and they're going to donate it to a good cause. Their commodity that they trade in is relationships. So they may not be able to afford what you have to sell, but they're going to know a lot of people who probably can. And if there's a good experience, they're going to tell more people. If it's a bad experience, they want nothing to do with it, and they're going to tell their friends, you want nothing to do with this person. The last group are the knowledge. Their color is green. Green as in green technology, the Excel logo, or the letters in the matrix that fall down on the screen. These people engineered the box. They're the ones that invented the box. There would be no box if it wasn't for them. Now, they're the opposite of all 3 of those codes. And a lot of people say, how do you close a sale with a knowledge? And the truth is you really can't. Knowledges close themselves, but if you don't know that, you're going to waste your time and theirs. They use a completely different process in order to get to a yes. So here's where it gets tricky. Your customer is not just one of those codes, but a combination of all four. So we all have all four of those codes in us. BANK. They're in a different order, but they're all part of us. It's kind of like a pin that you use when you put your ATM in a bank machine. If you know the four numbers, but you put them in a weird order, you're not going to get what you want. You have to put them in the exact sequence in order to access the account. Same way with people in their bank codes. Now, the bad news is that there are 24 different bank code possibilities. Why that's bad news is that means you have a 1 in 24% chance or a 4% chance of getting it right. So those odds aren't great. And that's why they say that sales is a numbers game and to go for a no, because you're probably going to get a no based on not having the right codes. The numbers are working against you. But if you have a way where you don't have to guess, which is the bank code, then it changes everything. So I told you that I was going to tell you how to get the personality code for yourself. If you go to crackmycode.com/thetrueyou, which is the name of my company, then you'll get an opportunity to see all of those. You can see the values that go with that code. You can put those in the order of most important of least important to you, and that'll give you access to what your code is. In my workshop, I'm going to be going and taking a deeper dive into what these codes are, knowing how to recognize them. If you don't have the tools at your disposal to figure out what their codes are, how to look at them and assess, you just assess how they are. We're going to be doing a deeper dive to look at how can you use this so you can get more yeses from people. So I'll close with saying that Les Brown said that bank is a game changer. For every entrepreneur and sales professional, this system will strengthen your confidence, expand your selling skills, and dramatically increase your income. So there's a competitive edge that's available in this when you get more yeses, and I want to give you the tools so that you can get those yeses. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of the conference and take care.
Hello and welcome to Significant Business Results. I'm Fran McNeil, your Significant Business Results Coach, and I am so excited to bring you a workshop that's really all about you. It's going to get you thinking. It's going to get you asking questions. It's going to perhaps get you a little bit confused, but that's okay because you're significant. And this workshop is all about helping you be significant in 3 key areas. Those areas are, oh my goodness, I'm getting so excited, my voice is trembling. Those areas are relationships, results, and revenue. So who am I? I'm Fran McNeil, your Significant Business Results Coach. I've worked with over 1,000 entrepreneurs in the last year. And over the 20 years that I've worked with entrepreneurs, I've worked with a lot of entrepreneurs. So enough about me. Let me share my screen because you are in for a treat. In fact, you're in for a workshop. And one of the reasons they call it a workshop is you are going to work. So let's get started. Be significant. Relationships, results, and revenue. It's all about finding that GPS that will put you in the right direction for your business. And quite frankly, when we're talking about your business, we're also talking about you. So I am going to constantly refer to you and your business and ask you to think about what outside of your business may be influencing how you're effective and significant in these 3 R's: relationships, results, and revenue. Occasionally, you'll hear me repeat myself, and that's because I want to make sure you're processing the information because, quite frankly, it's all about you. So, there are probably a lot of questions that you have and had when you started your business. But what matters right now is where are you right now? What are the questions that you're asking yourself about relationships, results, and revenue? What are the questions your customers are asking about their relationship with you? And do you serve them? Do they see value in you? Do they get results from what you have to offer? And are they willing to part with their hard earned cash to help you grow your business? Well, in many cases, it's really not about you. So, in terms of being significant, you've got to be a little bit, I don't know, outside of yourself, outside of your head, perhaps even a little crazy. But let's get into what are the questions that you should be asking yourself in terms of building relationships, getting results, and increasing revenue. So, those are things that we're going to discuss. So, why me? Why now in front of you? Well, there's a few things that I'd like to share with you. And quite frankly, they're important for you to know because if I'm going to be in front of you for the next 17 and a half minutes, I've got to make it worth your while. I'm a significant business results coach. I've written a book called Significant From Frustrated to Fantastic. Yes, it's a little bit of a play on words, but the fact of the matter is, I'm a serial entrepreneur. Does it mean I ate a lot of Cheerios or Cocoa Puffs? What it does mean is that I've started businesses, I've grown businesses, I've sold businesses, I've helped other people be significant, not only in creating products and services that make a difference for their customers, but products and services that make a difference for their employees, for their vendors, for their community. And I've experienced lots of road bumps along the way, personally, professionally, and in my business. I've lost money as well as gained money. I've been frustrated, and it's important for you to know that I'm a real person with real problems and a person that is constantly working on improving herself so that I can better serve my clients. I've been frustrated in a number of ways, and my goal is to help you reduce that frustration and get to results faster. So when I wrote my book, my focus was on helping people increase their energy, embrace opportunities, find support, really enjoy life, and stay significant in the competitive market. You'll see some of the stats about results. I've had 30 years of coaching and helping people grow their businesses. I've worked with over 300 folks that have decided to put their name and their testimonials on my LinkedIn. And the success rate that I've had with entrepreneurs has been at this 97% rate. Why the 3% difference? Well, quite frankly, not everybody loves me, and that's okay. What matters is that I've been able to help people go from 0 to 60, 60 to 100, 100 to a million. And that's what I want to do for you. You'll also see on this page that I have been a breast cancer survivor and a stroke survivor. And I share that with you to say that physically, mentally, emotionally, I've experienced challenges and I have overcome them. Has it been easy? No. But what matters is I'm a person that understands that life happens and that, quite frankly, you've got to move on. And in that moving on, you don't do it alone. You do it with others. So I've had the opportunity to be part of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses. I've been written up in a number of papers, not because I've done bad things. And I've been written up and appeared on NBC News. I've been written up by the Associated Press and appeared in Yahoo News because I have helped people grow their businesses. So let's get started on how I can add value to you in this workshop. So in this workshop, we're going to cover 6 things. First of all, the big questions that will help you get to significant business results. Quite frankly, asking the questions of you. What are you doing to be significant? And how can you move the needle? How can you change the dial to really power up your business and your own confidence and confidence of others in you? Why do the 3 R's matter? And what are they? Why am I identifying relationships, results, and revenue? Why is revenue last when that's probably what you want most and first? And then, as a result of this workshop, what action steps can you take to put this all into place? So, here are the big questions. Where? Where are you going? Why? Why does your business matter to you? You've got to answer that question. Why does your business matter to you in 2021 versus 2020 versus 2019? And how are you going to get from where you are now to where you want to be at the end of 2021 or 2022, 2023? Which methods will you use to keep yourself sane and to be successful? How will you measure your sanity and your success? How will you support others in helping you? Who will be your stakeholders? And when will you decide that enough is enough? When will you know that you're ready to move to the next level? How will you be successful? And what metrics will you use? So those are big questions that when you're thinking about being significant and focusing on relationships, results, in order to get to revenue, you've got to ask those big questions first. If you don't ask them and just plow right into the financial metrics of profit and loss, and how many widgets can I sell and what price, you're really missing the foundation. In fact, it's like trying to put curtains up before you've built a foundation and you've put up the steel bars and put walls around a space. You've got to start with the basics. So I've put those big questions out there. They're short words with lots of space, and that's intentional because if you're going to be strategic and work on your business instead of in your business, you've got to allow time for questions, thinking, research, and gathering the answers. And the answers will come from you as well as others. So, in terms of homework, remember I said this is a workshop. You need to take out a pencil, a pen, or pull out your iPad or go to your computer right now and identify your thoughts on these big questions. Where are you going? I mean, you personally, because if it's your business, what's at the start of the word? What's before the word your business? What's before the word business? It's your business. And what's in the word your? It's you. So let's explore, where are you going personally? What are your goals? What matters to you? Why does what matters to you matter personally? And then think about those big questions in terms of your business. Where is your business going? Why does it matter that you're setting certain goals? How long will it take you to reach those goals? What resources do you have at your disposal? A lot of businesses talk about lack of cash, but what other resources, what people, what technology, what systems and processes do you have in place? Who's going with you? Who's supporting you? Who's cheering you on? Who's helping you do the work? Let's get real. When will you start? And what's next in terms of your personal journey and why the business matters to you and where your business is going? Will you stay in your business until you die? Will you sell your business? Will you have your employees run your business? So these are big thoughts that you've got to answer before we move on. And because we have limited time together, let's focus on being significant. I put 4 letters here: a G, an R, an O, and a W. Being significant. What does that mean? Well, this is an acronym that I've borrowed from a British coach. And in terms of being significant, again, it involves some internal work. You've got to think about, what are your goals? Are those goals realistic? And once you identify those goals, what are some of the options that are necessary and options that are available to you in order to reach those goals? And once you identify the options, which ones are you willing to take? So let me be specific. Many, many years ago, my goal was to make $100,000 as a business coach. Not $100,000 over my lifetime, $100,000 in that particular year. That particular year, I was charging $50 an hour, and at that point in time of setting the goal, in January of that year, I had made $300. So $300 in January, and I want to make $100,000 in a year. So what's realistic? Would I have a lot more customers at $50 an hour, or would I raise my rates? What was realistic? Could I get big contracts? And what size contracts would be realistic to get me to my $100,000 goal? So some of the options that I considered were trying to do it all by myself. Another option was having part of my revenue that would allow me to reach the $100,000 come in from working with other people, being a subcontractor at a rate of $250, because that contractor was able to charge $500 an hour, so they paid me $250 an hour. And to think about, were there clients that would be willing to pay me more if I offered more value? And then I had to think about the W. How much work, given the options of subcontracting, raising my rates, and doing some other things on my own, was I willing to do within the 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? In order to reach that $100,000 goal in 1 year, which I did reach, in fact, I exceeded it by 25%, I had to really sit down and think about what I was willing to do. So being significant involves growing. Grow. Goals, realistic options, and what are you willing to do? The next piece that I'd like to share with you is relationships. You need to identify the relationship with yourself, with your business, which certainly includes employees, vendors, customers, and the community. So part of your homework, and I'm clicking, is, what's your relationship with yourself? Do you have self-confidence? Do you have negative self-talk? What's your relationship with your business? Are you commingling your personal funds and your business funds? Do you have a banker? Do you have an attorney? Do you have an insurance broker? Are you saving money? Do you have a budget for your business? Are you clear on the difference between revenues, expenses, and profits? What's your relationship with your customers? Do you thank your customers? Do you invite your customers to do business with you? Do you have repeat customers? Do your customers make referrals? What's your relationship with the community? Do you give back? Why did I put relationships before revenue? Unless you're going to be buying your own product, you need to have relationships. And the first relationship that needs to be positive and optimal is the relationship with yourself. Results. I promised you that there were 3 R's to business: relationships, results, and revenue. So What is the mission of your business? And how do you measure whether or not you're meeting the mission of your business? The mission is, what do you say you're going to do in your business? And then, do you do it? Do you do it well? Who's responsible for making sure you do it well? Who are the leaders in your business? If it's you, if you're the management team, are you managing? Are you leading? Are you following? Are you following up? Are you marketing? What are you saying to people to invite them to see the benefits of working with you? And are you getting the money? So results, it's all about the 5 M's. So questions for you, again, because this is a workshop. And my job is to help you think about thinking. My job is to help you stretch your mind. My job is to help you think differently and act differently so that you see results in your business. So questions that I'd encourage you to ask yourself around results are, what is your mission? Are you measuring what matters? What is the management doing of value? Do you spend your time on things that you like to do, but maybe don't generate revenue? What do you need to delegate to someone else? And what do you need to pay them in relation to what you're charging so that they see value in helping you add value to your customers? How's your marketing related to your sales? And how much money is coming in, going out, and staying? So that gets to the whole difference between revenues and profits, which ties us right very nicely into revenues. What's your system around revenues? System is an acronym for save yourself time, energy, and money. Do you know how much money is coming into your business? Do you have a plan on how much money is coming into your business? Are you tracking how much money is coming into your business? Are you making adjustments to how much money is coming into your business? Revenues is all about having a system. So, some questions that I'd like you to ask yourself. For the product or service that you're selling, and I'd like you to focus just on the product or service that you have the highest price tag on, what is that price? Is it $50? Is it a $20,000 contract? Is it $3 for a bracelet? So what's the price that you charge your client or your customers? Think about, what does it cost you? How many are you selling? How much money comes in? How frequently does it come in? How long does it take to come in? And are you selling to the right customer? Because quite frankly, you need to cover and be cognizant of, be aware of, and yes, I'm using some big words, but quite frankly, I'm repeating the same thing. You need to be clear about what money comes in, and you can't stop there. Because if you don't know what it's costing you and how many you're selling, you might be pricing your product incorrectly or your service, and you might be selling to the wrong customer. Maybe you're selling to someone who doesn't really see the value in what you have to offer. So we're almost at the end of the 20 minutes. That goes very quickly. Again, this is like a scalp massage for your business. I'm kind of massaging your thoughts and asking you to think about the big questions, the whats, the whys, the hows. I'm asking you to hold yourself accountable to being significant. I'm asking you to think about the big R's, the 3 R's, relationships, results, and revenue, and to see the connection between the fact that revenue comes last for a reason, because you can't make money if you don't have relationships. If people don't know who you are and what's in it for them, you're not going to sell anything. You're not going to have results. You're not going to have referrals. You're not going to have repeat customers. And the revenue won't be there. So when you think about being significant, it's important that you apply what you've heard today. I encourage you to go back and answer those questions for yourself. Identify where you want your business to go. Get back to me. This workshop is designed to get you thinking, but not leave you hanging. I want to make sure that you identify to me what was helpful. Where did you get stuck? What do you need more help on? Please complete the survey on the screen at www.surveymonkey.com/R SGPS, that stands for significant GPS, WK be significant RRR. So take a moment, take a screenshot of this particular screen and complete the survey, because that will also help you apply what you've learned. What's next? You need to ask the big questions so you're clear on where you want to go. Focusing on significant results is not easy. Why does a train have 2 tracks? Because the tracks help guide the train where it needs to go. Of course, you need the train, you need the engineer, you need the engine. But the fact of the matter is the tracks set the path for where the train's to go. In your business, you need to know yourself. You need to know where you want to go. You need to set goals so you can be clear that where you want to go and where you want to grow is in fact on the right track. It's about significant business results. Take action, ask for help, and connect with me. So again, if you haven't done so, make sure that you complete the survey so I can follow up with you and hold you accountable. If you'd like to get in touch with me, which I hope you will, you can connect with me on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and I want to support your success. So, thank you for being part of this particular workshop. I'm Fran McNeil, Significant Business Results Coach, and what I'm going to do is take you back so that you can connect with me if you like, and we can work together. Thank you.
Once again, my friends, my name is Robert Antoinin, and you are still plugged in to the #1 platform for Black entrepreneurs around the world. This is BlackCEO's premier event for 2021, Black and Iconic. And this is day 2 of our 7-day amazing journey where we're talking about iconic revenue. And as I listened to this morning's speakers, I was thinking to myself, what have I done to ensure that my revenue is iconic? So I just wanted to share 3 things that I've done that I believe will bless you and help you to make your revenue iconic. The first thing that I did was I learned to invest more than I save. Now, I don't mean to suggest that you shouldn't save your money, but I was more intentional in investing my money, because when you invest, your money works for you while you sleep. So the first thing that I did was I learned to invest more than I saved. The second thing that I did to ensure that my revenue was iconic